All right. Hello, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me. I would love to get there. What do we got here? We got 135 people on. This is fun. And lots of people. Let's see. I did ask at the beginning, let me know where you are tuning in from. We got best name ever, Dixonormous, coming in from North Carolina. Camille from the UK. Tennessee with Living the Dragon. We got Rita the Kiwi in Barcelona. This is super fun, guys. Super fun. So let me just make sure. Also, let me know you hearing me and seeing me okay. That's a pretty important one. Let me know you're hearing me and seeing me okay. I don't think you guys could hear it, but that countdown time, I had this really cool dance track. I'm like pumped. I'm ready to bust a move here. And so this is going to be super fun. So let me see where else we got. We have Thomas. We have Jebsy from the land down under, my home, fellow Australian. James from Ohio. Gil from Scotland. Who else we got? Baldrick, Canadian in the UAE. That's cool. I mean, most Americans won't know this, but Baldrick is a great character from, what's it called? Blackadder. Rowan Atkinson's Blackadder. Any of you guys know Blackadder, let me know. Let's see, we got SoCal, we got Australia, we got the Philippines, we got a whole bunch of people. Sound is okay, all is good. Aussie, 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 Brazil, New Hampshire, Holland. Okay, guys, we are doing well. Indian, Indian, Indian. Oi, oi, oi. Thank you, Dinesh. What do we got? Bangkok, Thailand. Pump It from England. Melbourne, Australia, 2 a.m. Thanks to the Aussies tuning in at 2 a.m. Mexico, Texas, Germany, Scotland, Captain Darling, not sure what that one is. Shanghai, hello, China. Orlando, Florida. All right. Well, guys, here we are. Are we doing this? So let's get into, actually, let me pull this up, make sure I can see everything you can see. Things are looking good. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if you guys watched the video I put out late last, well, I guess it was late afternoon yesterday. I think it was like 5 o'clock or so. And I suggested this trade right here, something like this. I think it moved a little bit actually, but something like this. So I drew this thing and said we were in this triangle right here. And I said, watch out for the breakout. And I put this, so this is how I would play it if I were you guys. Although I did say I'm not going to trade it, and I did not trade it. And I said, look, when this breaks out, it might be a good opportunity to open the position right here, okay? If it comes back down below this trend line, I would want to be out of it. So I'd set my stop loss below the trend line, okay? And I think the target up here is somewhere around 19,500. And we are almost there. Now I will say this, check out this wick right here. The whole, what I did say is that the breakout is imminent. I don't know if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down. And so if you did this, let me know. Did you get tripped up by this long wick here? Because this was a pretty evil trick Bitcoin did on us. If you did the same thing with the short, what you would have done is shorted Bitcoin right around here, set your stop loss right up here, yeah, and then your profits are way down here. And what happened was it poked through, took the order from you, and then came straight back and then would have stopped you out. But that's why when we do trades, we want risk-reward ratios. I like to see them up in the 5s, really. But this would have been a risk-reward ratio of about 3. So you might have got tripped up here. If you followed my advice that I released in the video yesterday, you would have shorted Bitcoin here. Yeah, it would have gone down, turned straight back. You would have exited your position here for a small loss. You would have entered your position here as it broke the trend line to the upside, put the stop loss here, but it was never tripped, and you would be well on your way towards profits here. So that's a pretty fun one. Let me rearrange myself so I've got your chat where I need it, got these things where I need it, and let me do something really sexy and blow my nose real fast. Okay. We got way more people in here. Arizona, Austria, Bob in Georgia, British Columbia. Big fan of Vancouver. I've spent a couple of summers there. Yeah, good place. We've got Brian and Deborah. You guys should say hello to each other, both in British Columbia. Can't wait to break records. Hell yeah. When do we sell? Never. Hold till you die. At least that's what I do with the majority of it. That's a really interesting thing, actually. We're into a very, very interesting time. Very interesting time. The time might be here where you never sell your Bitcoin, ever. You just borrow against it to withdraw cash. Let's talk about that real fast. Happens in traditional markets all the time. If you're Bill Gates and you're a billionaire, you want to go and buy an ice cream, you don't have to sell your Microsoft shares to go and buy your ice cream or your mansion or your whatever. What you can do is you just borrow against it. And you just say, hey, bank, here, I got $50 billion in collateral. Will you lend me $100 million to buy my mansion and my boats? They say, sure. And you give it to it. The Microsoft stock keeps going up. You just keep getting richer. It is entirely possible by the end of this next bull market that we don't even need to sell Bitcoin. We just hold it. Let that blow your mind. You just hold Bitcoin. You can borrow against it, take out Tether, use your Tether, sell your Tether for cash, walk around on the streets, money, money, money. You're a Bitcoin millionaire. It's a very, very interesting thing to think about. This cycle might produce the time when you don't need to sell. What does that mean? That would mean that the traditional, let me draw it for the traditional Bitcoin chart that shows this kind of thing, right, could very well be this kind of thing. Yeah, it can totally change the game. So this is an interesting thing, very interesting thing. We got Flying Ginger from Los Angeles. We got a couple from Germany, Micah and Sebastian. We got a stacker here in Vention, MGTOW. What do we got? We got France. We got Marty in the UK. Cheese on Mars. Well played. So yes, what happens to altcoins when the Bitcoin corrects? Do you sell your altcoin positions or wait? Actually, let's just take a quick look, go around the grounds at the altcoins here real fast. Let's check out. So what happened was Bitcoin pumped, everything else quiet. Dash, 30%. Ah, geez, I did not. I took a few positions in some altcoins the other day, and Dash was not one of them. Ripple was. I've been crushing Ripple lately. And these, by the way, so this is different. I want to point this out. It's two different mindset, guys. Two completely different mindsets. There's the investor buy and hold strategy. That strategy, I just dollar cost average in. It's like I've got some money, I want to accumulate, I want to hold it for a year. This is what I do with the majority of my money. This is where I've been most successful. And I'm not worried about, buying here, buying there, stop losses. I don't even put stop losses on those. These are things I'm just going to hold for a year. And so, or some amount of time. If I see the winds change, I might change, but things like that. So, do I, chart and do all this? But I don't even worry about it. Sometimes I use it to try and find a good entry point. But generally, I'm just looking for trends, which is where I became most famous over the last few years. I'm looking for the big shifts and the big trends. And this year, I think, is just going to be the biggest trend for Bitcoin ever. It's the cryptocurrency space, I should say. It leaves everything in their dust, everything else in the dust. But trading is a whole other animal with a minuscule. For me, I don't even know what it is. Let's just call it 3 to 5%. 3 to 5% of my net wealth I put in this trading fund because I just wanted to learn trading. And this is kind of my journey with you. I'm teaching here, but really I'm learning. I'm not the expert. There's a lot of other YouTube channels here who are experts. I learn from them. I recommend a bunch of them. In fact, in the link in the description, I put a whole bunch of my favorite YouTube channels in there. So highly recommend you check them out. Some of them are really good traders. Some of them are guys just like me who are still learning. So I want you to know that a lot of I'm learning trading. On the investing side, that's where I've been doing it for years. Long-term investing, anticipating these big swings in the market, and things like that. So I just want you to know that going forward. Yes, just please be aware of that. So, all right, let's get into some more questions here and some more hellos. We have, where are we? Slovakia. Hello, Camille. Love it. What coins do you suggest we buy from Paul? So that's a good question to answer. Look, some of the things that I did get on Ripple because Ripple has the habit. I've documented it here. Let me see if I can find the Ripple chart real fast. XRP USD, we'll kick this over to the weekly. And Ripple has this habit, and oh, this particular exchange doesn't show at all. There's this ridiculous spike of just whatever the hell this was. What was it? 60 cents to $3. There was another one, I think even bigger than that, just back here. It's just off the chart. You will see it. I'll go up to the Ripple Bitcoin chart, and you'll see it on here. See, that was that spike here. There was another one which started much lower and went higher on Ripple. I mean, this is like 1,000% in the space of like 20 days. And I just saw this starting to happen here. We've been a long time between drinks for XRP. And I just thought, you know what, this is a little bit of a speculative bubble. I just threw a couple of bucks on this one to see if we did some ridiculous moonshot. No fundamentals. I have no idea what's happening over at XRP. No stop losses, no looking for trend lines, none of it. It was just, I just thought it was a really good risk reward ratio. And so I had a bit of a dabble on XRP with a couple of bucks. I thought I should have done the same with Dash, and I did not. And let me tell you, I'm regretting that right about now. And here we go. Look at that. I always teach you about trend lines. When you see it break through a trend line, you're going to have a good move. And Ripple just did a nice 26% pump today. And I was dropping my boy at school and preparing for this thing. I did not catch it, so I missed out on this Dash one right here. But I think Dash, but listen, you're going to be hard pressed to go wrong in the cryptocurrency space this year. What I highly recommend though, if you're not a trader, just do what I do a sprinkling of a few coins. You know, understand Bitcoin is probably lower risk, probably lower reward. You know, and then Ethereum is a little bit more risk, arguably, a little bit more reward. And then you get into the other ones and you get higher risk, higher reward. And just understand, the further down the crypto market cap chart, as in the rankings, the further down you go, generally higher risk, higher reward. So if you're not a trader, I would just do a sprinkling of some coins. Let's something in the order, just whatever suits you right. Maybe 40% Bitcoin, 40% of Ethereum, and then with the last 20%, you might just do it like your favorite 10, 20 coins. But then at that point, you get into a headache of management. All these private keys and all these headaches. Look, if they're ERC20 and you can put them all on your ledger or something, that makes a lot of sense. But you get into the headaches of tracking all this stuff, and that's been a nightmare. Trust me, you don't want to get in a situation where you're losing coins, forgetting about coins. It can happen. It can happen very, very easily. So just be aware of that. So yeah, look, Bitcoin, Ethereum would be my strongest holds for sure, but that's a risk-adverse play. I believe we're going to go up 10, 20x from here, let alone from at the beginning of the cycle, you know, a year ago when I told you guys to be getting in, almost a year and a half, 2 years ago now. So you know, like, you don't, how much do you need? It's at some point you want to say, you know what, I'll take the lower risk, right? But some people are just coming in and, you know, and they want to have a moonshot, whatever. I get it. So next after that, I like Chain, I like Polkadot. What else do I really, really like? Is anything jumping out at me? I don't love Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash. I'm not a big fan of those. Cardano had a huge pump the other day, ADA. Yeah. So they're kinds of the coins I'm keeping my eyes on. Is there anything else that jumps out at me? No. And let's just check in with Bitcoin right now. 19,340. We have hit. Let's go back to let's go back to the daily. And just while we're on this chart though, I've been telling people to accumulate from here. This was the first time I was like, okay, we're at the lows of this cycle. It's like, start accumulating, right? So, you know, if you're getting in at 4,000, you know, you're already, what are we? Double again. You're at you know, 4.5, 5 times your 5x. That's what you are. You're 5x so far. So, you know, how big are the gains that you need before you say, well, I'll just relax a little bit on the and go the safer coins. Okay, let me get this back into the hourly. We'll just leave this here so that I can keep an eye on this. And yeah. All right, let's get back to the chat. ARR, I don't know that. Hex, I don't know that. DeFi space is hot. Yeah, it is. It is. I really like DeFi space. Where did BT? No, it didn't. It didn't hit BTC. De Voluntarist. This is a anticipation party. I'm anticipating it hitting 20K here, hopefully in the next couple of hours. If not, I'll probably end this live stream. But I thought, hey, I wanted to do a big, long Q&A with you guys, just answering questions from fundamentals, altcoins, predictions. All questions are on the table, and I thought I'd time it around about the time of when I think the all-time high is here. We've just had a massive surge to 19.3. It's entirely possible in the next few hours we go to 20,000. That's why I'm doing this live stream. But Bitcoin hasn't hit 20K yet. We're hoping it happens on this live stream. Let's see. What are the reasons for viewing the chart on, say, daily, weekly, hourly, and do you ever watch in finer resolutions like 5-minute intervals? Yeah, g'day. So that's a question from Steve Torrance, and it's a good one. So the longer time frames are arguably more valid. There's more strength then. If you're painting a timeline, that goes, a trend line that goes over, say, 3 or 4 years, it's a very, very powerful trend line. And when you break through it, you get a very powerful move at the end of it. And also, just you want to see all the different trends. And when you love it when everything lines up. It's the short-term charts and the mid-term charts and the longer charts are all saying that things are going to go very, very well. And we had that experience back down here, like just a little bit earlier this year. Down here, all the charts were just saying, things are looking very, very up. We're starting to head up on this final leg to approach what was that multi-year high of 14,000, and all the charts lined up. And that's just, you love those situations. But the longer term charts just give you that bigger perspective, and I like trading the bigger moves. I generally don't trade hourlies, and I generally don't trade a few hours. I jump in and look at them every now and again, and every now and again I'll spot little things like this. I don't usually trade these little triangles like this. We've had lots and lots of opportunities to do so. I don't normally do it. I'm looking for bigger moves. But, a lot of people made a lot of money. This exact technique about the triangle that I told you at the beginning of this broadcast and in the video last night, you know how much money people have made with these little triangles? It's just obscene. Just triangle after triangle after triangle, breaking to the upside to the exact mark. It's just been powerful. So yeah. And so that's a good one. All right, let's go. Let's see. This is from Ellen. Hi, Max. I'm getting excited about trading Bitcoin. Can you tell us about a good crypto exchange to use if you have an IRA, please? I do not have an IRA or any retirement vehicle for that matter. And I just decided years and years and years ago that the retirement vehicles are mostly, unless you're self-managing, I think they're all just very, very dangerous. But here's the other catch. You can either pay tax on the way in and then the money is free and clear, as you also do with as you wish, or put it in a retirement vehicle and not pay cash, and then you pay the cash when you take it out. The question is, what do you think tax rates are going up or down? And decade after decade after decade, they go up. So you're gonna end up paying more tax. You get to grow your wealth tax-free, but when it comes out towards you, you have to pay tax, an even higher rate of tax anyway. Plus, there are a lot of different ways, especially if you're involved in the world of real estate. There are so many ways to reduce your taxable income significantly. And in fact, I'm very, very excited about this. I haven't shared this thought yet, but on the Success Council, I'm going to do just a quick little deviation here. Hey, 400 people online. That's awesome, guys. Let's hit the the subscribe button, guys. When I started this broadcast, I was at 19,992 subscribers. We're now 19,995. Can I get 5 subscribes from you guys, please? We can hit this 20,000. Put me out of my misery. I've been trying to hit this goal, get to 20,000 subscribers before Bitcoin gets to 20,000. If I can get 5 more, even if you hate me, hit it and you can unsubscribe tomorrow. Go ahead and do that. Would love to see it. All right, so back to this. Yeah, so look, next year, end of 2021, I will most likely be selling a good chunk of Bitcoin. and there will be absolutely spectacular / terrifying capital gains tax consequences for me. So I am putting systems in place now, and I believe I have a very good chance at legally paying near zero taxes next year on all of those gains. And I'm going to be fleshing this out over the next few weeks, months, and it's going to be something I'm going to be putting into the Success Council members area. It'll be it's a very simple strategy, and it's advanced strategy, and it perfectly dovetails to what I was going to do anyway. Because so as most of you know, I plan to ride out this Bitcoin wave through 2021. I believe in 2021 we're going to see a massive real estate correction, and towards the end of 2021 I'm going to be going and scooping up real estate. Well, there are so many, because of the coronavirus and the emergency relief funds and all these things, they put out all these insane tax benefits to real estate developers and investors, as well as others. I'm not going to develop, I'm going to be an investor. If you take the necessary steps with a little bit in advance, I believe you can sell your crypto, making millions of dollars in profit if you do, and rather than pay the capital gains tax on it, you get to put that into a real estate vehicle tax-free. At the very least, anyone can do with very little effort tax deferred for 7 years, but I think I can do way better than that, and I can actually do tax eliminated, get the money out free and clear, no taxes. It's something I'm going to be sharing with the Success Council members next year, and it's just going to be an absolutely insane windfall. So just thought I wanted to let you guys know about that. Let's see. And so just keep asking your questions, guys. I will just come back in here when I can and ask them as I can. Let's see. Yeah, I've got a few people talking about the tax stuff. Yeah, not my area of expertise, so I'm sure there's things I'm missing, things like IRAs, etc. What exchanges don't ask for any ID? Pretty much it depends on volume. There's a few exchanges that'll get you that can let you do trading in small quantities with just an email address. Femex is one of them. Well, it's not on live stream because live stream and other videos are separate. But if you go to my previous video, and the link in the description is a link to Femex. That is one where you can do with just submit an email address. You just create an email address. You might have to do two-factor authentication for withdrawals. But that you don't need to. I don't think you need to provide your phone number for that. You use your phone, but you don't provide your phone number for it. So Femex, if you go to my previous video, the link in the description, there is an exchange called Femex, and below certain thresholds, they're not very high. I think it might be to the sake of a few $1,000s per day, or maybe a little bit more. You can deposit, trade, and withdraw with nothing more than just an email address. So that's one of the ones, but they're few and far between. But once you get up in the higher quantities, it's very, very hard to find. And I assume what you're actually talking about is on-ramps from fiat to that. The moment you touch fiat, you're in the banking world. The moment you're in the banking world, you've got to go through all the regulations. If you want to trade crypto to crypto, sell Bitcoin, buy Ethereum, it's a whole different world. That's crypto exchanges that don't do fiat. They don't touch the banking world. They're usually overseas in some other foreign country, and it's a lot more flexibility for those things. Let me see. What wallet do you recommend from Janie? So yeah, this is a big question. It depends on what for. So if like institutions might have to have a separate level. But for most people at home, for the sake of a $100, $150 investment in a Ledger or a Trezor, I think that's going to be a really, really strong solution for the vast majority of people. The other thing is, depending on what the exchange you're on, if you use Kraken, Kraken is by a lot the safest exchange in terms of not losing your money, by my estimation at least. I don't mind leaving some money on Kraken. Not the majority of it. If I plan to hold it for a year, sure, I'd get it off. But I don't mind. I didn't trade for years because I didn't trust any of them. It's like, what's the point of trading and making money if your exchange gets hacked and you lose all your money? So I didn't trade for the specific purpose that I didn't trust any exchanges. But Kraken is a very, very solid exchange. I have a lot of trust with it. And again, it's linked in the descriptions on all my videos going forward, although not this one. It's a live stream and it's a special category. 20,014 subscribers. Thank you so much, everybody. We've hit our 20,000 subscriber mark. I really, really appreciate it. That is, that's just awesome. Really, really appreciate it. Yeah, just when you're running these things live, I just get nervous of everything. Is my head still in the window? Am I still live streaming? Have I done anything wrong? Looks like everything. Oh, it's good. We can see everything you're supposed to see. All right, live good. Let's go back to our, dude, 20,000 subscribers. Let's someone get me a, I know it's nearly 20 to 10 a.m. here, but someone get me a beer. That's been a long time in the making. Thank you. Does Kraken have trailing stop losses? That is a great question. I'm just trying to remember if I've seen it. I think there's like on the pro version, there's about 5 or 6 options, and I bet trailing stop loss is there, but I can't guarantee that. Sorry, that's a good one to Google. Let's see what else we've got. The important that you only have the money you can afford to lose on the exchange and enough to cover your trading costs. Yeah, that's from the Clink. That is good advice. With the entire crypto world, you only want to invest in money that you can afford to lose. Definitely, definitely. Let's see, I'm going to go through. So you hit me up with some questions. I'm going to go back. Hong Kong. G'day, Harry from Hong Kong. I've got a couple of questions here. My thoughts on Monero. So let's do that. Monero. So Monero is a privacy coin for those of you who are not unfamiliar. And actually, let me pull up the chart. What we got? One of the things about Monero is it does come under a lot of government scrutiny, and some of the major exchanges don't. Oh, there you go. But that's not true. Kraken's trading it. Let's. What are we on here? We're on the hourly. I don't want to talk about hourlies. Let's give me daily at least. So it's been on a nice uptrend for a while. I know it's been on a very nice uptrend for a while, and this is just looking like this. I see this, and I just immediately start thinking cup and handle, which means Monero might be getting ready to shoot right up here. Just this insane run that Bitcoin did to complete the other side of its cup and handle. I look for Monero to do that. So that's the first thing I notice about Monero. What else am I seeing here? You could argue is that inverse head and shoulder, so left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and there's a breakout just down here. Come down and retest that neckline. You could definitely make that argument. Oh, could you? No, not really. Oh, yeah, there it is. I beg your pardon. Right there would be the shoulder. That would be the neckline there. So you got shoulder back to the neckline, head back to the neckline, shoulder, break through, up, come back, confirm support, and off to the races. So just on broad speaking, big picture, taking a step back. Hang on, where am I? Oh yeah, sorry, I am next one. I got confused. So first thing I noticed was this looks like the beginning of a big cup. Next thing I noticed was inverse head and shoulders coming back, confirm, absolutely phenomenal time to invest based on those two metrics. This is a great time. But with regards to fundamentals, wow, I haven't made this type of video for quite a while, but for those of you who recall, I have a macro thesis which says we are going to spend the next few years collapsing into different asset classes. So at the top of my funnel, making sure I'm on screen, at the top of my funnel was real estate, stocks, all the traditional stuff, right? And I said, we are going to have an absolute implosion from that stuff, and we're going to collapse down into less risky assets. And the first one I said was going to be a stop off was gold. I thought gold and Bitcoin. Things are going to collapse into gold and Bitcoin. Now, we haven't seen that collapse into gold yet. We saw a crazy pump from silver earlier. It really depends on whether or not this debt bubble finally collapses or whether or not they just print the money into oblivion. There's only two options. Either the debt bubble collapses or they print money into oblivion. It's the only two options. There is no normal. We're not getting back to 6% interest rates and normal times without a complete reset. That is not going to happen. So assuming if they can print everything into oblivion, that's a different thing. We go into hyperinflation. If they don't go into a hyperinflation, the debt bubble has to collapse. We will collapse down into, I think, precious metals and Bitcoin. I'd said, but I think Bitcoin will outperform precious metals. And then finally, I believe we'll even collapse further, and we will leave gold behind, and gold bugs will leave and come into Bitcoin. Now, arguably, that is already happening in a big way right now. Precious metals price not moving, Bitcoin price exploding, huge deal. You know, there's no stories of like Square and PayPal, you know, allowing their, you know, hundreds of millions of customers to invest in gold and silver. I don't hear any of the big institutions doing it. No, they're coming into the crypto space. So arguably, this part of the funnel collapsed already. And then at the bottom of that pyramid, sorry, it's a long time getting to XMR, but I suggested, and it could even be that after could we consolidate down into Bitcoin, we could even consolidate further into privacy coins. If governments come down heavily on Bitcoin holders and try and destroy Bitcoin, try and ban it, try and throw people in jail for owning it, you might see an even deeper collapse into Monero, and other privacy coins, which would just be a monster. I mean, right now Monero cap is just very, very small. And it would just be absolutely unbelievable. So that is a possibility. So there's a lot of fundamentals about XMR. Thank you for drawing my attention to it. I will take a look at Monero and maybe even take a position a little bit later on, just based on that inverse head and shoulders, one side of the cup. This could be a very, very exciting time for Monero. Let me get a measured move here. If that did go to here, what would that be? 230%. 230%. Yeah, I mean, it's not that big a cup, but no, it's a 200% increase. So that means a tripling of the price. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at Monero when I get a chance to. All right, let's. What's Bitcoin doing? 19.3. Wrong way, Bitcoin. Wrong way. Can we head north, please? All right, let's get over to some questions. So MM2020 is suggesting if you're a US citizen, follow Paymon, P-E-Y-M-O-N. No taxes on gains, no taxes period for ordinary citizens. I am unfamiliar with Paymon, but something worth checking out according to MM2020. What do we got here? XMR has huge upside potential from Steve. It's his number 2. Citibank analyst this week said BTC would hit 300,000 end of 2021. Yes, doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. My range is between 100 and 500,000. But seriously, there's a couple of things I'm just looking at to make this. It could be that this trend of Bitcoin doesn't, and it could be these ones. We could be up for a ridiculous leg up. One of the big things I'm looking for, I mentioned at the top, what if you don't need to sell your Bitcoin in order to live off it? What if you can just hodl it? It's just going to sit there. It's a fixed supply. Population's always going up. You know, as more people use it, you just borrow against it, keep it in there. It keeps going up faster than you can possibly spend it. That is a possibility. Let's see. I got a few people here celebrating the 20,000 subscribers. Thank you very much to all you guys. Very, very happy to do that. I beat Bitcoin. That was Dylan helping me celebrate there. Corey Phillips. Yep. Thanks, buddy. By the way, Corey, he's the guy who makes all the thumbnails. All the thumbnails you're seeing on my channel, Corey makes them. He's a great artist. And yeah, if you, I don't know, I won't solicit for Corey, but he's a good guy. Give a shout out to Corey if you like his thumbnails. Let's see. Max, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Great Reset. Yeah, I mean, well, I just kind of gave my thoughts on the Great Reset. I mean, there's only two ways it can go. There is no returning to the normals of, you know, the 70s, 80s, 90s, normal interest rates. Forget about that. There's no returning to that without a reset. There's only two ways it can go. Hyperinflation and everything goes up, or massive deflation and everything goes down. They're the only two ways. And the collapse on the stock market, the collapse in the real estate market, if they let it collapse, is going to be epic. And I will be there to scoop up What is the way to transfer BTC from Paper Wallet to Kraken? That's a great question. From Paper Wallet to Kraken, how do you do that? I don't know. I've never done that because I don't use a paper wallet in that form. I have paper backups, but I've never done that. You can do, so paper wallet, I'm taking that as a specific term there. There's a paper backup, which Trezor helps you do, and then you can use Trezor to do it. Armory has a paper backup, and you can use Armory to help you do it. But a paper wallet is a slightly different thing. It has a specific meaning, and that's more you actually generate a private key as opposed to a backup within one of those tools, and now you can have to back it up separately. So I don't know the answer to that. That one's worth what's it called? Googling. You'll find an answer for that pretty easy. John from South Carolina, John Hughes Cooper. Buddy, say hello to Dix Enormous. I think he's there too, if my memory serves. Puerto Rico, zero cap gains tax. Yeah, moving to Puerto Rico and going through all those things there, that's definitely a possibility. It's a great option for US citizens. And the quality and caliber of people there, I would be very much open to living there. I would have to twist the arm of my ex-wife to get her to come and bring our son. But Puerto Rico, the caliber of people there is so much fun. So the people who live there that I'm aware of already, Peter Schiff, we got Mike Maloney from Gold Silver, we've got Harry Dent, we've got, who else is there that I'm familiar with? Sovereign Man, if you're familiar with him. Simon Black, he goes by the name of. There are some, and there's a bunch of crypto whales who live there too. If you can get there and end up hanging out in those fun circles, it's worth moving there just for that. So Puerto Rico is certainly a very, very interesting option. Gotcha. Oh, someone's telling me that that payment was on Jeff Berwick's summit last Friday. So good times there. All right, who we got here? Max, I am looking to jump into Bitcoin. This is from Carlos, by the way. Looking to jump into Bitcoin for the first time since it's at an all-time high. Should I wait for a pullback and jump in and buy? Good Lord, Carlos, you ask all the hard questions. All the hard questions. Look, if you get in now, it's not going to be terrible, in my opinion. I think Bitcoin will be between 100,000 and 500,000 by the end of next year. And you're talking, if that's the case, you're talking about a 10x. But of course, you want to get the lowest price possible. So look, we're so close to the all-time high. I would do this. If it broke 21,000, if it got over 21,000, no, scrap that advice. Scrap that advice. We're so close here. Here's what I would do. If it breaks through 20,000 and doesn't have a severe, like a solid pullback, like below 17,000, I would think it's probably not going to happen, and I would just start dollar costing in relatively quickly. All right, just every week, just buy something, or just whenever you see a dip, grab it. It doesn't really matter. The long-term stuff, you're going to be fine. If you do see this pullback below 17,000, and if it's going to happen, I think it'll happen within the next month, then what I would do is wherever the bottom of that is, that's your best chance. So as it comes down, I think the bottom it could possibly be, my guess would be around $12,000. More likely like $13,000 to $15,000. If you start seeing the Bitcoin price in there, I would just start accumulating and accumulating and accumulating. That is a phenomenal accumulation phase. That is really, really sexy accumulation if you can get it. Paper cold storage is old school. Yeah, it is. It is, you're right. What is your view on Ethereum? I'm very bullish on Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to do very, very well. I believe Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin in 2021. So something to see, but I also think it's high risk because Ethereum has competition. I don't believe Bitcoin has competition. It could be that some of these other, Cardano or EOS or some of these other platforms, might come in and steal the show from Ethereum. Or there could be some bug and they might try, especially with the release of 2.0, they might overextend themselves. There might be a bug in the code. They could screw it up. And I don't think any of these things are going to happen. I'm just saying it could happen. So there's a little bit more risk to Ethereum. Bitcoin is just a solid asset, stable. It's been looked at a million different ways, and it's impenetrable from what we've seen. And for that reason, what's the word that Raoul Pal uses? It's the world's most pristine asset. So companies are going to want to have it, and individuals should want to have it to use as collateral. It's like, hey, I got Bitcoin. We're golden. You know, you can lend me. This is the safest. This is the safest security in the world, and my company's got it. Hey, bank, lend me $100 million. So, but yeah, I like Ethereum, and as a risk reward, I think it's on par or even slightly better than Bitcoin. We are celebrating with mimosas, Lisbeth. Yes, I agree. I agree. You know, I've got a water here. I think I should get a cocktail here, but it'd take too long. I'd have to leave you guys. Should I send a text to my friend in the other room, say, bring me a cocktail? I think that would be more than reasonable. 19,377. Come on, Bitcoin. This isn't going to cut it. We have to get a move on if we're going to hit 20K. By the way, I can only be here for more than an hour, but maybe a couple hours. I'm actually, there's only one day a week I have any obligation. And this particular week, it's a Tuesday today, and this particular week, I'm teaching. So this obligation that I only do one day a week is I teach at my boys' micro school, my kindergarten micro school that I built for them. I hired teachers and built a whole micro school for him. But one afternoon a week, I come in and teach, and it's the highlight of my week. I absolutely love it. Super fun. And we have some expert monetary scientists in kindergarten and first grade in that class. Let's see. That's great. I've been watching. Really wasn't too sure at times, but we did it. Max, you really helped me a lot. This is all new to me. Love the way you explain the charts. Thank you so much, Margie. I thought I was going to get to a question, but I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. Lisa Lyons, cheers. Someone get this man a beer, for the love of God. Jebsy, agreed. What's the charting software you use? It is called TradingView. And if you go to, again, not in the live stream, but if you go to my previous video, in the link in the description, there's a link to TradingView, and I think they give you like $10 off if you end up, there's a free version, but if you upgrade to the paid version, they give you like $10 off, so there's a little bit of a discount there for you, and they give some kickback to me. Let's see, $4 by January for XRP, according to Crazy for Cryptos. I like Crazy for Cryptos channel. He's calling $4 on Ripple. Good stuff, good stuff. And I can't ever stop calling XRP Ripple. I'm sorry, it just is. Were you a trader before Bitcoin? From Robert Jones. No, I'm not even a trader during Bitcoin, believe it or not. I'm an investor. I am trying to learn trading, and this kind of YouTube channel is my journey, sharing what I learn with you guys. But I would consider myself an investor, not a trader. I would just dollar cost average in and hold for years and years. That's what I did. From Dealman, the way Max teaches is amazing. Thank you so much. What about the crypto fund? Oh, okay. I knew I was going to get this question. Okay, so guys, I did mention a while ago that I was potentially going to start a crypto fund. I'm into the research, and I think I might have found a way to do it, but the vast majority of ways that it can be done, I'm not allowed to advertise. What's the definition of advertise? I can't mention it on YouTube to my subscribers. I can't email any of my subscribers and say, hey, join the fund. It's illegal. The vast majority of the ways to set up a fund, they have what's called a no solicitation rule, meaning I'm not allowed to solicit any kind of general solicitation, which even if like you're a customer and you've bought my product, even on that relatively small list, I can't just email my customers and say, hey, join my fund, the vast majority of ways. So the very fact that I've already mentioned it means I can't do it those ways because the SEC, I don't need the headaches of SEC. So I am looking at another way, which would be, the legal term would be crowdfunding. It's a $1 million cap. FYI, I did a survey and said, who wants to, if you want to invest in a fund, let me know and how much you want to invest. I got pledges, not pledges is the wrong word, but people said that they would invest $3 million. If I do the crowdfunding way, it's capped at $1 million total. I'm not allowed to do more than $1 million. So, if it happens, it's going to happen, I think, here in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. There's a lot of legals and a lot of crap to do. The SEC has all these rules that you can only work with sophisticated investors and all these things. So by doing the crowdfunding way, keeping it under $1 million, I get out of the purview of the SEC, I think, or maybe I'm in there, but it's just an exemption, and I'm allowed to help the little guys. It's actually the little guys I wanted to help, because you're going through the headache of learning private keys and learning security. If you've only got 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 to invest, they're the people I kind of want to help. If you've got $200,000, $500,000 to invest, it's worth your time to go and do Trezor and whatever else and do the things. So I wanted to be able to help the little guys, which means there's a lot of funds where you can't, unless they're called a sophisticated investor and they've got a net worth of $2 million or an income over $200,000 a year, I'm not allowed to accept them, right? And in those funds, I'm also not allowed to advertise for the most part. So I've been doing the research. We're looking at the crowdfunding option right now. And actually, I had to cancel a call because of this live stream. I was scheduled to do a call that starts right now. I had to cancel that call, which was going to get all my questions answered about crowdfunding, which with Thanksgiving and whatever else probably pushed me back a week now, which is sad, but that's the way it is. Well, we're coming back up to 13.4. This will be exciting. Let me actually look at the daily chart. But anyway, that's the status of the fund. I'm working as hard as I can and to try and get that so I can help you guys. But yeah, they're not making it easy on me, that's for sure. From Miles. Hang on, I want to read this one. You mentioned Bo. Come back. Been sharing with a lot of people your video about Bo and the SJW priesthood. I've never heard the whole thing summed up more succinctly. Left me with a new level of clarity. Thank you, Miles. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm just listening to the feedback. I get way more subscribers, way more love when I do crypto videos. So the vast majority of my subscribers are crypto. So I stick to the crypto stuff for this channel. I still throw in some political stuff where I can. But philosophy, libertarian philosophy, macroeconomics, economics, I love those topics. I love teaching those things. Teaching is in my blood. I love doing it. The only reason I learn is so I get to teach other people. And so I love all that stuff, but I tend to shy away from it because you guys, as in a community, you guys love the Bitcoin stuff more. So we'll look at that. We've got Lauren talking about the fund. Yeah, guys, as long as, listen, if you need to be on my email subscriber list. So just in case you know, hey, we've got 500 concurrent subscribers, viewers right now. That's awesome, guys. Well done. This is the biggest live stream I've ever done by far. You need I think it's the first link in the description. Click on that link and sign up for a live webinar. It's not live because I'm here, but sign up for it. It's a recording, but it looks like it's live. Sign up for it. Even if you don't attend, you'll be on my mailing list, which means when I do the crowdsourcing fund, you'll be able to, you'll be notified about it. So make sure you're on the emailing list. We got Zcash breaking out, which I might go and take a look at here in a minute, according to Haskell. And Brian is saying, great question. Jeff, so where's Jeff? Jeff is right here. Max, do you think that when BTC reaches its peak at the end of next year, it won't have its normal crash as there's much stronger hands in the game now with institutional investors? This is a great question, Jeff. And I am toying with this idea really just the last week or two. It's a very, very interesting concept. Does Bitcoin, does it not do its big 80% dump crash like it always does? It's the 4-year cycle, right? 2013, 2017, 2021 is the prediction. Price goes parabolic. The following year, 2014, 2018, and 2022 predicted the price comes crashing down 80% in the following year. The question is that going to happen or is it not going to happen because there's a more sophisticated investor around, that Bitcoin is in stronger hands? Very, very interesting question. I will make a decision on that a little bit later. Bitcoin, 19,422. Looking good, looking good. All right, let me just have a little nose blow here. It's actually just itchy. All right, let me have a look here at some questions. Max, how often do you follow your gut? In investing, often. Trading, I'm trying to learn the exact opposite discipline of just being a robot. I've defined my strategy and just be a robot and just do it. And set the stop loss, set the take profits and walk away. So different areas, different things. Buy gold and keep buying. I haven't bought gold in years. And to be honest, I don't think I can. Nice haircut. Thank you, Daniel. The clink came across me because of libertarianism. Thank you. What else have we got? You're a legend, Max. Oh, please. keep coming. No, I'm kidding. Your videos are the best quality content on YouTube. Could you please advise when I should start buying F in this crazy time? Thanks in advance for your advice. So F on an absolute tear, F being Ethereum, of course, just went ballistic here. This is why it's so important. There's so many hard decisions to be made now. I'm sorry, that's not what anyone wants to hear. But just way back in the accumulation phase, like 6 months ago, 12 months ago, it was just so certain. Like we were at the bottom of the cup and handle, and we were just down the bottom, and it was just it's so easy to say, yeah, just jump in, like you'll be fine. Like on the macro, we're at the bottom. Look, I think on a 6-month time frame, you can't go wrong investing in almost any cryptocurrency right now. Like I just don't think you're going to lose if you invest in right now. But yeah, but I don't know. Can there be? There's absolutely can be some big epic pullback here. Bitcoin back over 19.4. Thank you. Look, here is the leading indicator by the world's best traders. The squiggly red line that I drew, and even I laugh at it. But look at it. It's following it really nicely up here to 20,000, and then this big bitch of a drop all the way down to 16,000. Maybe 14,000 before coming back up. Look, that is very, very much on the cards. And so we're just going to have to wait and see. I don't know. I don't know. Like I would be terrified. I'm not in this situation, but I would be terrified about not having cryptocurrency right now, not having my position. So what I've been telling people afraid is look, if you believe there's going to be a crash coming, maybe you do half now, you do half later, and wait for that crash, and just dollar cost average in. That seems to be a pretty reasonable strategy. Because I would hate to say, yeah, there's definitely going to be a crash, and all of a sudden, Ethereum's at 800, Bitcoin's at 30,000, and you're like, this is the worst. But I'm not in that position because I've been accumulating from way back here. So sorry I'm not more helpful on that. That is a hard one. Okay. From Mario, stick to crypto on this channel. That Giuliani video you hyped was a waste of time. All right, Marius, thank you for the feedback. That's generally the feedback I get. People want me to stick to crypto, so I'm not going to not do what's they called? I'm not going to not do political stuff and philosophy stuff because I think it's the way more important. This helps people get wealthy, cool, and I'm a big fan of saving the middle class from what's about to happen. But living in a world where we're run by communists is also completely unacceptable for me. So I will sacrifice a lot of profit and subscribers to change the minds of some people. So that will happen in the future. Bitcoin crashing down at 19,318. What do we got here? Agree. It's still early in the process. Dollar cost average, go. If I buy Bitcoin, then how do I keep my money from being in the market as opposed to not being in the volatile market? Or do I have to move it to another coin? I didn't understand that question. I'm sorry, buddy. That one was a hard from. Let's see. There's a question here about Tether. I haven't looked at Tether in years, but when it first came out, I was like, no, I don't buy this at all. It didn't seem very safe to me at all. So, yeah, sorry about that. I haven't looked at it in the last few years, so I don't know how scammy it is. But at the beginning, its first couple of years of existence, I took a look at it and I did not like it at all. Miles, can't get more subs if they ain't woke. I love it. But I also don't want to be the one who preaches to the choir, right? So I like to, with regard to the political stuff, I like to be soft enough that it can actually, so I can help people switch teams. And by the way, I'm not a Republican, really. I mean, the last couple of years, you don't have a choice, I would argue. But Trump, and I'm a libertarian. Trump's not a libertarian. But it's just an absolute pleasure to have someone for the first time in probably 30 years that puts America first. It's like, let's just do what's best for the country. Like, is that a radical notion? So yes, that I'm a Trump fan for sure. No loyalty whatsoever to the Republican Party. My personal belief, 100% of the Democrat Party is bought, paid for, corrupt as hell, and 50% of the Republican Party bought, paid for, corrupt as hell by the global elite who want to enslave us. That's my model of the world. And I'd actually given up. I just moved to the Caribbean and was just going to chill out and live my life, have as much fun as I can before they came and threw me into a concentration camp to re-educate me. And Trump came along and I was like, is this guy for real? And 4 years later, I think he's for real. I think he's not part of the elite. I know Jeff Berwick will disagree with this, but I think, just think of what is exposed. Exposing the media the way he has. Exposing the voter fraud the way he has. These are incredible things if he's part of the plan, for them to give up these pieces on the chessboard and just sacrifice your propaganda machine to half the population, sacrifice your vote rigging to half the population. Like, it's just crazy that they would sacrifice so much. And so that's why and what's the alternative? The alternative is to go and live in the Caribbean or go live in Mexico, as Jeff does, and sit there and giggle as the world dies, thinking you're going to avoid it. You're not. You're going to get slaughtered as well. You're not going to be allowed to have wealth. You're not going to be allowed to be independent. There's nowhere to go. They'll come and put a bullet in your head. Like, there's no rules at that point. So it's I'm crypto rich and I've got Monero, so it's all digital, and it's like, whatever, boom, you're dead. So you got one chance and one chance only. Is if we hope and pray that Trump is helpful, and I think there's enough evidence to suggest that he is, and that he's on our team, and that he wins. That's all you got. Anything else is a complete waste of time. Thinking you're going to go and live on a boat with them, or a Mexican forest or something. This is stupidity of the highest order. I like Jeff. I like him a lot, and I got a lot of friends who work for him, and his insiders are telling me he's coming around. So we'll wait and see. That this strategy is not a strategy. 19,400. Okay, let's get back to crypto. I said, and as I tell you, I'm not talking about Trump and politics. What do? I go ahead and talk about politics for a few minutes. So, God, I feel like, that meme where it's that person poking the stick. It's like, come on, do something. It's like, come on, Bitcoin, give us something. All right, guys, give me some new questions. Oh, we got a BitShares question here. Hang on, my eyes jumped out of that. Do you still hold BitShares? I do not. On success. Okay, let me tell you some BitShares stories here. The worst trade I've ever done in my entire life was BitShares. Let me tell you the story. Some of you guys might have heard it. 2017. Everything is just... So first of all, we'll go backwards. 2015, I think it was, BitShares launches. And I become friends with the leader, Dan Larimer, and work with the team. And I'm kind of their spokesperson. I'm their media face, would you say. I create the educational library to teach people about the DApp space. No one knew what DApps were. Dan Larimer, to my knowledge, invented the term decentralized application, decentralized autonomous application. To my knowledge, Dan Larimer invented this thing. I was the one who took Geek Talk, turned it into something that people could understand, put these video series out on several locations and in the Success Council members there, teaching people what DApp was, saying that BitShares was like a leader in the space, although there's competition coming through, keep your eyes out, etc., etc. Before that, I get BitShares. The company of BitShares, Dan Larimer and whoever else, gave me BitShares. So I'm holding BitShares. I then have my son, and I get really into parenting, and I kind of just like ignore cryptocurrency for a couple of years. And I come back, now it's 2017, right? And Bitcoin's going absolutely parabolic. Ethereum's going parabolic. Altcoin, ICO, insanity, 100x, 1000x coins. Everything's going parabolic. BitShares, flatline, worthless, nothing. It's the last coin in the entire crypto coin market cap top 100 that hasn't pumped. And I'm going through this phase of I'm moving houses and I'm actually moving continents and I've got to tie things up and I'm just trying to consolidate all my information, trying to carry the least amount with me. It's like, oh, look, everything's pumped at BitShares. BitShares dead. I sell all my BitShares. The next 30 days, BitShares goes up 100x. 100x, not 1,000% return, 10,000% return. In 30 days, starting the day after I sold all my BitShares, it went up 100x. And I believe I sold the BitShares and put it all in Bitcoin. And it went up like whatever. The Bitcoin doubled from where it was before it capped out in 2017. But it was like 30,000. No, I'm exaggerating. It was $20,000 worth of BitShares. 30 days later, it would have been worth $2 million, and I sold it. So this is why you don't ever take trading advice from me. It's insane. You don't want to do it. Here we are. Okay. Is there anybody who accepts Bitcoin as collateral? This is a great question, Les, and it's the beginning of what's kind of happening here in this world that I'm foreseeing. This is where it kind of just got put into my mind. It's like, oh, people are starting to accept Bitcoin as collateral. Who was it? I think, you know what? I think it's an advertisement on Altcoin Daily. I think he's associated with the company, and he advertises DeFi Block. There's something called DeFi Block. I haven't looked at it. This is not a recommendation, but in their advertising, they say they accept Bitcoin as collateral or something, and they pay an 8% interest rate on it, something like that. Now, if you're earning interest, if you're earning something, there is some risk, and I haven't looked at it, and there will be some risk in there somewhere, but something for us to investigate and see what it is. Miles is laughing out loud and giggling at it like an idiot. I assume you're laughing at my misery with the BitShares story. Let's see. Also, do you think we just hold the Bitcoin? Where's that? I'm laughing. Max, I need some quick money for unexpected medical expenses. Is there any crypto that will make huge gains in the next few Jesus Christ. Any coin set to explode in the short term. Thank you, Max. God, you want pressure? My God, I need life-saving surgery. I need to make $1 million in the next 30 days. You got any suggestions? Holy. That's a rough one. That's more pressure than I've been put under before. The only thing that I can see doing a ridiculous like 10x real fast that I've been looking at, although that Dash breakout is very, very interesting. But XRP is another one. Let's go back and look at Dash. I'm interested in this guy. I made some money on Dash way back in the day. And yeah, this is a big, what I like about this is, I got to go back to the daily here. What I like about this one is the fact that Dash has been way up here and we're nowhere near its all-time highs. And I do like a lot of cool things about Dash. And I love the fact that it broke this long-term trend line. This will be very, very interesting. I just as a target, was it something like that? I might have to readjust that in a minute. My eyes just fell on that. Not quite accurate. Maybe are they wicks or candles? Can't quite tell. I'm just trying to put this line on the candle tops. So yeah, I quite like that trend line. Look at that. It's right. That's not helpful. It's right there. But you can just see it was body of the candle, body of the candle, body of the candle, body of the candle. Love big crash throughs. Hit resistance, crash through, crash through. I love to see it either hit a trend line and stop or crash through with a big, massive, epic candle. So interesting that it stopped right there, right on that trend line. I thought it was going to give me evidence that it was room to grow. So, okay, we're at that trend line on Dash. Let's see if anything else jumps out here. What's happening here? Yeah, this looks like another pretty important line. So let's give me a horizontal line here. Something along the lines of that. And we've got resistance, support on this double top. We got resistance over here. We had resistance here. We had support here. So this would be my next target for, so $135 is my next target for Dash. If it broke that trend line significantly, I don't normally trade that. Had I have noticed this one here and had I been awake, I could totally see myself buying Dash here, stop loss here, take profits here. This one, just it's a big upside for a little downside. That's a risk reward ratio probably in the order of 6 to 10. That's the stuff I like. This one right here, I don't know, but that would be my next stop. That'll be my next stop right there, that trend line. So yeah, I might start paying a little bit more attention to Dash here soon. All right, I'm gonna, just bear with me, I'm gonna send a text and get myself a beer and a new water. I'm doing all this talking. But let's see, where are you? Beer or Truly, which is actually, let's see, you'll see that door open in a second. Oh, just letting her know that she's live. You're live, put clothes on. You don't want to see a weird Tubin moment. That would be awkward. Let's get back to, oh, come on, Bitcoin. Poke that stick. Come on, come on. All right. 538 concurrent viewers. Great to have you guys. Rod, just bought some. I guess you're talking about Dash there. Dash. So from a buddy of mine. Okay. Keep doing the political philosophy. Your friend said Dash will boom. Does anyone know what's the highest Bitcoin's going to go? Well, don't we all wish we knew that? Thoughts on Ripple? I've done that. Yeah, Ahmed, BlockFi. It was Block. Is that what I called it? BlockFi. That was that thing I was talking about that Altcoin Daily talks about. I haven't investigated it, but it's called BlockFi. What are the pitfalls to holding Bitcoin on Robinhood long term? I don't even know. I've never used Robinhood. And how are you actually buying Bitcoin? Are you buying Grayscale Trust? I'm not exactly sure what is going on there. Come in. Oh, we like our beverage. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. There you go. Shout out to Sophia. Cheers, by the way. Cheers to everyone for 20,000 subscribers. We greatly appreciate it. Let me see. Yeah, just so you know, there's someone's said it. You should have a green screen. And so I know my background is terrible, and the reason is I'm actually in a rental. I went through a divorce. Actually, it's like a year and a half, 2 years ago now, maybe something like that. So time has gotten away from me. But I just you know, when divorces happen, you just got to separate quickly and do all the good things. And so I just moved in here thinking I would be here for a very, very short amount of time. And I've just still, 2 years later, I just haven't made the house nice, useful at all. And it's because I don't want to be in the city that I'm living in. Just before I got divorced, we moved to a new place as a special favor to her. Then we got divorced. Now my boy's here, and it was supposed to be a very, very short-term thing. It was supposed to be 1 summer. I agreed to move here for 1 summer, and it's been far too many years. So I have a resistance to buying a house and setting it all up now, and I'm just in this thing. It's a rental. It's close to where I need to be, and so that's the situation I'm in. But I look forward to having another situation soon. But I'm just being lazy and haven't done it. So yeah, all right. I'm being too busy making like 1 to 2 videos a day for you guys to hit these 20,000 subscribers. So what are we at here? 20,000, 21 subscribers. Guys, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We just hit 20,000 subscribers. So big celebration. Hence the Truly at way too early in the morning. Craig Bowen. He says, most important thing about Bitcoin. Was that a question? Or are you maybe talking about continuing a conversation with somebody else? Let's talk about, don't marry. Yeah, good advice. I saw a few MGTOWs on here earlier. I'm sure that's the advice. But then who would bring me my Truly? All right. I'm going to pretend it was a question. Not sure if it was. Most important thing about MGTOW. Choke. The alcohol's getting to me already. Bitcoin below 19.3, killing me. Most important thing about Bitcoin, its number one feature. And I had this debate with Peter Schiff about 4 or 5 months ago. If you look through the channel history, you'll see a back and forth between Peter Schiff and I. Here's the most important thing about Bitcoin. It's why it's significantly better than gold. In a word, it's censorship resistant. What does that mean? There are many, many patriots, freedom lovers, people who understand money enough to know that when you use paper currency, when you use fiat currency, you lose. And so they have tried to develop a better money. Entrepreneurs who just go, oh, this is a problem the world needs solving. I'm just going to go and solve the problem. Yeah, so here's the story. Whenever you go into competition against the government, they send men with guns to ruin it. So there was Liberty Dollar, there was gold money, there was a whole bunch of companies who set up, like, guys, here, we got this big vault, come and deposit your gold in here or send us money and we'll buy gold and put it in there. And then you can have an account with us and we'll link it up to all the merchant accounts. And what can happen is if you want to buy, you can buy, if you need to buy groceries, you can pay with 3 grams of gold. And it can be very, very efficient. The gold's not going to move from the vault. We're just going to debit your account, add it to the person you're paying's account. And at the cost of near zero, we can use gold as money. The problem was it was in competition with government. So under the guise of anti-money laundering, under the guise of know your customer, under the guise of reducing terrorism, men with guns come out, confiscate all the gold. Everybody who participated in that scheme loses their money or goes to jail. It was too easily censored by men with guns. Bitcoin's killer feature is the fact that guns are useless against math. You can shoot at the algorithm, you can shoot at the internet, you can shoot it, and you can shoot everybody who's got a Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin will still be there. And so that is its number one feature. It's why it is superior to gold, and it's why it's superior to any other money to ever grace this planet, because it cannot be censored. Violence means nothing in the world of Bitcoin. Okay. What do we got here? What about Lucy? People are asking for Jeff and Lucy. Yeah, I should have invited Jeff on here, shouldn't I? What else have we got? All right, let's hit me with some questions, guys. Hit me with some questions, please. But what if we lose power? So Bitcoin or cryptocurrency will stop working in the area that has lost power while it has lost power. But you don't lose your Bitcoin. When the power comes back on, it comes back on. So that's that one. The IRS got Coinbase to tell them about our accounts. You can go ahead and assume that the IRS knows about all of our accounts. That's cool. So, but I mean, I would definitely be paying your taxes on your crypto gains. Definitely, especially if you're an American. What do we got here? If there is no electricity, how do you trade crypto? You won't be able to trade crypto. But how much electricity do you need is the question. With a satellite phone or a satellite internet connection, a small generator, a small bank of solar batteries, and you can transact Bitcoin. So, because power's not out the whole world. Like, it's not the lights don't go out on planet Earth ever. It might be a jurisdiction, it might be a country. You never know what's going to happen. But there's always a place where it works. So as long as you've got a satellite connection or access to one or access to someone, you can get that transaction out. You can still transact. How do I buy without photo ID? We talked about that quickly earlier. Femex, not in this video, but in my previous video on the YouTube channel, there's a link in the description to Femex. You can click on that, and for small amounts, you can transact with an email address only. Raoul Powell, Bitcoin is a cockroach. Oh, I guess he means that in the best way possible. You can't get rid of it. I was like, Bitcoin's, he didn't say that. I said, oh, he means it in a good way. You can't get rid of it. Yeah. Bitcoin is a game of whack-a-mole for the governments. Agreed. They've transacted Bitcoin over the ham radio, by the way. They have. That is true. Yeah, if it is, there's a way bigger problem. Yeah, that's listen. I don't think there's much the elites won't go to make our lives miserable and horrible and enslave us. But turning out the lights on planet Earth, I mean, they've got to live in this world too, right? I don't think they'll be going there. When you get into the subtleties of the New World Order conspiracy, it's very interesting. You have to think about a lot of the people are there. They're there either because they're bribed, they're there because they're being blackmailed, they're there because they believe in the cause. But the further they push it, the more egregious and disgusting their acts become, the more people break ranks and say, I need to change teams. I can't be with this. And we saw this with the election. We've had several Democrats come forward and provide affidavits of cheating. We've had several people who helped build Dominion software because, and, when they got on board, they thought there was some upside to it, or it was in some country they didn't care about, and now it's being used to defraud the American people. And they're like, oh shit, I don't want to live in this world. I'm going to come forward and be a whistleblower. And so the elites are bound by some invisible line whereby they will lose all the people they have indoctrinated, all the people that are bribing, all the people they're blackmailing. Eventually, people are like, I just choose to die rather than sell the world out. I mean, that can happen. Do we have good opportunities in options with Bitcoin? I'm sure. I've never traded Bitcoin options, but I'm sure you are. I am in Kraken. I haven't put my crypto into my Trezor because I'm afraid I'll goof up. It's fair and it's scary. Do you think it's okay leaving it on Kraken? Listen, of all the exchanges, Kraken is a place to leave it. And in fact, if I do the fund, my biggest fear, because people have been asking me for years, it's like, Max, can you just buy crypto for me? I'll give you the money and we'll do it. The biggest fear that I had was that I would get stolen. For those of you who don't know, I had Bitcoin stolen from me. And during that time, like my wife at the time, and we were nowhere near divorced at the time, we were looking very good. I know there had to be a slither, a 1/1,000,000% chance. It's like, did he just steal it and hide it and told me it was stolen? And there's no way to prove otherwise. So if I've got an absolutely stellar reputation online, I don't think you can find a single bad word said about me online. I've never been interested in buying crypto because I feared it would get stolen. And then I would have no way to defend myself. It's like, did he run with it or did it get stolen? And I just was like, no way, I'll never do it. Therefore, if I do the crypto fund, I'm leaving it on the Bitcoin exchange. I am not taking it off the Bitcoin exchange. I'm going to buy it on the Bitcoin, on Kraken. I'm going to leave it there and hold it there. I'm going to sell it into fiat and then withdraw the fiat into bank account. That way there's a paper trail at all times and I cannot be accused of stealing. If Kraken gets hacked and people lose money, I'll lose money as well. The fund will lose money, but it won't come back to me. It'll be provably, auditably, it'll be someone else's fault because that's super important to me. So Kraken is by far the best exchange, and I really don't have a problem. Although you'll see, like, don't. You'll see it in my training, like, don't leave it on the exchanges. When it comes to Kraken, I think it's okay to leave it on the exchange. Just got a comment on Bitcoin dominance. Let's go and have a look at that because it shit the bed just not too long ago. And yeah, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I mean, right here, I was like, this is confirmed. When this went below that low, I said, this is confirmation Bitcoin dominance has reversed. And I expect Bitcoin dominance to come all the way down to this blue trend line. And I said, I love buying at the top of a downtrend or the bottom of an uptrend, because when we're here, right here, the target is here. But if it takes a couple of months to do it, I get all this extra place to go. And you saw that on that XRP short that I did. So Bitcoin dominance is down. The biggest bang for your buck when investing right now, I believe, is going to be not in Bitcoin, but in altcoins, at least until we get down to this trend line. Now, is that a guarantee? Of course not, but we're just playing the percentages. We're just, when you're up here, the wise move was to be your dollar cost averaging in, be buying altcoins, buying altcoins, buying altcoins. When it bounces off and starts heading up, start buying Bitcoin, start buying Bitcoin, start buying Bitcoin. Coming down, buying alts, buying alts, buying alts, buying alts. Coming up, buying Bitcoin, okay, buying altcoins. That's where you're going to get your best bang for your buck. $580 billion total market cap right now. Thanks, Corey. Let me check that out. Let's go and check out coin market cap. Let's have a little look-see in here. And what do we got? Market cap, $580 billion. Man, we are only a doubling away from Bitcoin becoming a $1 trillion market. I mean, that is a very big possibility by Q1 next year. I mean, we could be 4 or 5 months away from that. Can you imagine the news when the cryptocurrency is a $1 trillion marketplace? What does that mean for the institutional investors? It's going to mean a lot. They're going to come piling in like you've got no idea. Look at this, XRP up 120% in 7 days. Just look at this green. 50% from Cardano. Speaking of Corey's favorite coin is Cardano. I hope he's made some big gains this last week. Just everything crushing. Everything crushing. 'Tis altcoin season, as I told you in a video a week ago. So there you go. Frank calls it to hit 750 billion it hit 750 billion in 2017. Yeah, we'll smash that the next cycle, no doubt about it. Let's see. Bitcoin will top off at 300K next December. That's Craig's prediction. By the way, I'm in Toronto. G'day, Jason in Toronto. Gold, we're coming for you. Yeah, we are. And I've got gold, by the way. I've got gold. But yeah, not the most interesting thing, which is fascinating to think about. Imagine if blockchain was not invented. Where do you think this $500 billion worth of market cap would be right now? Gold, guaranteed. Probably not as much, to be fair. There's so much hype and excitement around Bitcoin with the spectacular gains. But a lot of that money would be in gold. And Bitcoin is really eating gold's lunch, for sure. There's no doubt. Let's just take a look at this. I mean, gold is just an absolute yawn. All right? It's on a downtrend, for God's sake. They're printing trillions and gold's on a downtrend. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Silver, downtrend. Just stepping down the stairs. So someone asked about Maker, I believe, a minute ago. Not looking very strong. Not interested in that one. Let's look at Apple, 115. Dow Jones hits 30,000. Look at this megaphone pattern right here on the Dow Jones. These megaphone patterns often result in this kind of a drop. So we're up here at 30,000. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, I wouldn't touch the Dow Jones with a 10-foot pole right now. Let's see. S&P the same. Australia, VIX, and the dollar. Dollar crashed a little, did it? Yeah, dollar crashed a little bit. Okay. What was it up to? What is this? Really? Dollar got up to 102? I did not see that. I was not paying attention. But when was that? Oh, March of 2020. Oh, okay. My bad. I was just really zoomed out. Okay. Bitcoin, 19,200. Come on, you're killing me. All right. Hey guys, listen, I'm really impressed. You guys are still here. 533 people still online. And so I take that to mean you guys are enjoying this. Would you guys like me to do these live things more often? I'll try and time it as best I can around an important event like Bitcoin all-time high, which looks like we're going to get, looks like we're stalled here for a little bit. Hopefully we get another pump here soon. But yeah, you like it? So a little bit of free. Ooh. I'm not going to say it out loud. I just had a weird thought about what I'm drinking in promotion. I don't know if you're allowed to drink alcohol on a live stream. So that just freaked me out. It was like trying not to give YouTube excuses to cancel channels. I'm not sure if you can. Oh, what are you going to do? Hello, Max. Thank you for all your work. I just wanted to ask you something because I'm a financial moron trying to survive this big mess. Thank you, Robert. But you didn't ask the question. I'll try and look for you when you type the question here, Robert. Yes, Max. One day I'll be with you. Next time when we hit 30K. Yeah, 30K. We're talking subscribers or Bitcoin price? I'll be working hard. That's a tougher challenge. 30,000 subscribers before 30,000 Bitcoin price. That's going to work hard. Guys, Bitcoin is a scam. Ponzi. Stick to stocks and bonds. Smiley face. Thank you, Lars. Nobody going to snitch. I don't know. 500 people here. Snitches get stitches, just so you know. Has Jim Rickards bought any BTC yet? Yeah, let's take a moment to cheers the Bitcoin haters. Peter Schiff, Harry Dent, Jim Rickards. Something you notice about all these guys? All over 60. Let us not forget, Berkshire Hathaway, what's his name? Buffett. We got Buffett. Who else do we got? Oh, and what about Ray Dalio? So cheers to all those guys who have been poo-pooing Bitcoin. Just rookie mistakes. But there's every single one of those guys, they're over 60. And it's not to say people over 60 are not into Bitcoin. There are. Mike Maloney is. G. Edward Griffin. I got G. Edward Griffin into Bitcoin. I know he has some Bitcoin. I'm very proud of that. I love to see him do well. For those of you who don't know, G. Edward Griffin is just an absolute hero of mine. Just an amazing human being. So I think he's like 80 something, and he went to the trouble of learning Bitcoin. So love Ed Griffin. Absolute champion of liberty for 8 decades. God bless him. So yeah, to all the haters, guys, next year is going to be a rough year for you. Peter Schiff, I'm a huge fan of Peter Schiff. I think he is one of the best Austrian economics teachers out there. His analogies and the way he describes economics is brilliant and beautiful, and I listen to him all the time. I really like his stuff. But man, when it comes to Bitcoin, he just lost the plot, sadly. Lost the plot. Alicia says Griffin is the best human ever. I really have to agree with you, Alicia. Meeting Ed Griffin is really special. It's just an absolute gentleman, and it's something that didn't exist in my generation. We were all bombastic and boastful, and to some degree Trump-like, all singing. And there's Ed Griffin, just humble as humble can be, and just an absolute champion of a human being. And he's just great to hang out with. Every time I see him, it's not just I learn from him, but I'm like, I just want to be a better human being like you. He's good. And a shout out to Ron Paul too. Yeah, good people, very, very important people. The liberty movement would be a lot poorer without them, for sure. Does Max Kaiser call him the worst money manager ever? About who? Peter Schiff? Yeah, could be. I think G. Edward Griffin's book woke up Berwick to some extent. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. That would not surprise me at all. I know Ed has spoken at Jeff's event, I think the last 4 years in a row, Anarcho-Pulco. So, yeah, I was lucky. I was actually at Anarcho-Pulco one year. I've had many sit-down conversations, mostly in California at Ed's home. But one year at Anarcho-Pulco, Ed and I just peeled ourselves away and sat in a little corner. And actually, we discussed Trump. The whole time we were discussing Trump, and I think it was 2016. And Ed was just like, oh, man, this is a tough one. He's like, I'm a staunch libertarian. There's no way in the world Trump is a libertarian. He's told me, he's open, he agrees, he's not a libertarian. But man, I want to believe in him. And I think he ended up voting for Trump in 16. So that was That was a good one. I can't confirm that. I don't think I've spoken to him about that topic afterwards. But yeah, for 3-4 hours, we just discussed Trump because it was, I think it was like February 2016. So a good 10 months, but you know, he got on TV and was saying all the right things in the press conferences, policy-wise anyway. Maybe it was a little bit, could have been delivered a bit better, but policy-wise, he was saying some very smart things. Actually, that's a fun one. I know I got a lot of Jeff Berwick fans, and I like Jeff. So I'm sure there's some Jeff Berwick. Actually, give me a shout out if you're on this live stream and you're a fan of Jeff. Let me know. I expect the board to light up. But so Jeff's an anarchist, obviously, and I think an ANCAP is the way to describe it. And Ed Griffin is not, and it's funny watching him give his speech there. And Ron Paul too, by the same token. The two big headlines at Anarchapulco are non-anarchists, and so it's an interesting little experience. They get special passes. So yeah, like Berwick's very strict. Like with the exception of those two headlines, he does not like letting non-anarcho-capitalists speak at that event. But for those two headlines, he makes an exception. They get the best cheers and the best, I guess what. They're the headline events, and the room's always full for them. But neither of them are NCAPs, so that's an interesting one. Yeah, Jeff, big fan of Jeff. Love Jeff and Lucy. I found you through Jeff. Yeah, Jeff's a good guy. I like Jeff. Let's see. Yep. Lucy fan. So yeah. Look at, just pouring through. Holy waterfalls, Batman. This is Jeff. Yeah. For those of you on the live stream who do not know Jeff Berwick known as the Dollar Vigilante, and he's been preaching Bitcoin, I think either slightly longer or almost as long as me, like from way back 2012, 2013 for sure. And Jeff's a hardcore libertarian. We are very philosophically aligned. However, we do disagree on Trump. So that's an interesting difference between us, but a lot of love there between the two of us for sure. All right, hit me with some questions, guys. Lisa Lyon says Mike Maloney does not like BTC. Not true at all. Mike Maloney owns BTC. Mike Maloney owns BTC and is very open to it. So he both owns it and is open to it. And credit to Mike Maloney. He yields to the market. He's like, listen, as long as we get a free market solution and not a government imposed solution, I'm all for it. So I have no ill will towards Bitcoin. He bought Bitcoin. He made money on Bitcoin. I know I think he still does. But he says, listen, if I was the dictator and I had to choose, I think gold's safer. So he's a bigger fan of gold than crypto. But as long as gold or crypto extinguish the fiat currency world, he'll be a happy camper. So, you know, Mike Maloney is a fan of crypto. What do we got here? Hi Max, can you tell me what exchange you use to trade and what trading software you use? Yeah, this one right here, this is tradingview.com. And I think it does have a free version, but if you sign up with a link that's in the bottom of all of my videos, except this one because it's a live stream, you can I think you get it's like a discount, like you get it for $10 less a month or something, and so it's like half price or something like that. I don't want to promise, but it's something. Let's see. Hugs and kisses, bitches. Nice work, Rod. What is the prediction for when BTC goes down, and would a newbie get in now via setting up for a short sell? Sorry, I'm still learning the basics. Yeah, well, listen, if you're a newbie, do not short sell. That's rule number one. Short selling is an advanced strategy. Do not do that if you're a newbie. If you're a newbie, you don't even trade. Don't be a trader. Just accumulate. Just accumulate. You're going to be very, very happy in 2021. If you buy at $20,000, if you buy at $25,000, if you buy at $15,000, you're going to be happy, in my opinion. Okay, so don't worry. What did I want to say? Downside targets. Let's talk about that. All right, let's talk about, we'll get into the charts here for a little bit. Let's talk about, you can hold your questions for a second. I'm not going to watch the chat for a little bit. Right here, we've got the 21-week moving average. We are all the extended past it. Let me make sure we're keeping on the screen. Let me see how far past it we are. Right now, we are at 63% past the 21-week moving average. All right, that's pretty baller, guys. We are right here. We are right here at 21 weeks. Okay. There's a couple of targets I have for the Bitcoin. If we bounce off 20,000 and come back down, what am I looking for? Target number one, right here, around about this 15,800. I think that's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we just smash through this. What is this at? 17.5. That trend line is just not powerful enough. If this retracement happens, I think we go down even lower. My first target would be 15.8. My next target would be this trend line here, 14.4. And the one below that, we would be 13.366. And the one below that, 12.5. So they're my targets. Anywhere. Let me see a box. Give me a box. Is it in there? Call out Bitcoin price level. Is it call out? No. What is it? Is it a shape? Where do I get my boxes from? Oh, this one. Is this it? No. Maybe it is a call. Maybe it's a... What does a balloon get me? No. What's the thing that I'm looking for? You know when I drew my purple boxes in a couple of videos ago? I've forgotten what that was. It's not that. Oh, it's in the brush maybe. What's in the brush? Ah, rectangle. There it is. So where are we? 15,008. All the way down to, let's call it 11.8. That's probably a bit ambitious. Anything here. Anything in that range right there, we are talking, I will go in heavy here. If this bounces off and comes down to below 15.8, I will just start accumulating. And if it goes down here, I might even go a little bit mental. Like below 13,000 would be mental. And I would go all in on this stuff right here. So just say, but if it comes down, if you see it below 15, just every day, just grab a little bit, and just do what you can to accumulate. Because we do, this is 63% overextended from the 21-week moving average. This is a long way overextended for this part of the bull cycle. This is a lot. Later on next year, we will most likely get to even higher, greater overextensions beyond the 21-week moving average. But right now, for this early, still a year before the year of the Bitcoin bull market is even here, this is a long way to be overextended. And that's why I think, look, the most likely outcome is we from right about here, anywhere between here and 20K, we roll over and we come back down and we hit one of these major targets. And this entire purple box is just accumulation zone. If Bitcoin's in here, buy your face off. My suggestion, do your research. All the risk is on you, all those things. This is the place to be buying if we get that opportunity. Are we definitely going to get that opportunity? No, we're not definitely going to get that opportunity. But if we do, it'll be sexy, sexy times. Anywhere here is going to be great. And I would wager that within months of this zone here, you're going to be in profit like 50%. Like it's going to be back up and above 20 grand in the blink of an eye. It's going to happen very, very quickly. So there you go. That's the downside targets. Let's stay that long. Yes. Let's see. This is like being at $1,000 before the 20,000 runs up. We are going to hit much higher values next year, Craig. Yes, we are. When you think BTC has topped, what to swap to? So there'll be lots of, Hank called this the trampoline effect. Hank, I'm going to steal that. Yes, the trampoline effect. Sounds like a keyword I might put in a title of one of my YouTube videos. So yeah, it comes down, bounces off the trampoline, goes back up. What was that question I just read? I lost it now. I read a question. Oh, what to swap to? So yeah, I kind of answered this question earlier about the altcoins I'm excited about, but that will change over time. And I will, the DeFi fundamentals, by the way, are really, really good. Actually, I should be looking at DeFi coins in the next week because have the DeFi coins pumped as much as Ethereum and Dash, etc.? Because if not, if they have not pumped this last week and it's just been Ethereum and Link and XRP and Dash and the top tier coins, if the low cap DeFi coins have not pumped, someone go and check that out for me, please. I would jump in to I'll just go and get 20, 30, 40 DeFi coins for the following weeks because the DeFi fundamentals never slowed down. The DeFi price crashed, but the DeFi fundamentals were solid as hell and are still solid as hell. So there's so much money being locked up in DeFi and the DeFi fundamentals are very, very strong. So if DeFi has not pumped, when I finish up when I get a chance over Thanksgiving, I'll look that up. And if DeFi has not pumped, just look for DeFi coins that have not pumped, and they might be a great place to throw, $500 or $1,000 across a sprinkling of 10 or 20 coins. That could be a really good option. Okay, let's see what we've got here. DeFi is awesome. DeFi isn't going away. XLM up 72%. Woot woot. From when, Craig? I think I put XLM on here. No, I didn't. Let's get in here. There we are. XLM. Oh, let's have a look at Kraken. Boom, sluts. There she is. What is this? This is the daily. Let's have a look at the hourly. Oh yeah, had a little pause and off to the races again. I would expect that to go a little bit higher than just this. So yeah, XRM looking solid too. Bitcoin teasing us back above 19.3. Come on, Bitcoin. Let's kick. Let's get us over 19.5 at least. Okay. I do keep hearing we are in altcoin season for fabulous gains. Yeah, we are. Can you explain more about DeFi fundamentals? Okay, a little bit of a crash course on DeFi. So I'll first of all define that. So I'll define DeFi. DeFi stands for decentralized finance, which in our traditional finance world, we have banks and brokerage accounts and lending houses and all the insurance companies, all these different institutions and there's these big monster companies that control all of the aspects. And you have to go and ask the SEC, you have to be a qualified investor to do certain aspects of it. And if you're in the third world, forget it, you don't have access to any of this stuff. So we're very, very privileged here in the first world to have access to a lot of these products. But there's all these gatekeepers telling you what you can and can't do, how much they're tipping the scales in their favor behind the scenes, tipping the scales in their favor and against you behind the scenes, all these kinds of things. There's big, big problems. But the biggest part is the gatekeepers, people not having access to it. What DeFi promises is to eliminate all of those gatekeepers and bring all of those services onto the blockchain in an open, transparent, trustless way, but most importantly, without a gatekeeper. Meaning someone with a phone in Tanzania all of a sudden gets access to first world finance products. And it will mean an explosion in the quality of life and the productive capacities of the second and third world, but also our world as other people get a chance to get involved. I was almost going to get a little side note here. I was almost going to do a video about how as I was doing all this research for the fund and how the SEC goes to extraordinary lengths to stop unsophisticated people from losing money. But the problem is, one of the ways you become sophisticated is to lose money. You've got to go to the school of hard knocks. You've got to get involved in something, get wiped out, learn your lessons, lick your chops, come back. Now all of a sudden you're smarter than you were. If they just say, no, you're not a sophisticated investor, you're not allowed to invest, how do you ever get to become a sophisticated investor that you get to invest? So although arguably you could say their heart is in the right place at the SEC, ultimately I think they hurt people. I myself had just so many losses. I once invested, I think it was $75,000 in some green deal in a private placement thing, and it was self-verified. So you had to be a sophisticated investor, but I wasn't. But it was you just had to tick a box and say I was. So I ticked a box and said I was, because I wanted to go in alone. I thought I was going to make money, of course. It ate shit. I lost all 75 grand, lost 100% of it, all of it, gone. But it helped me enormously learning. So, the SEC, this business where the government is trying to protect people from hurting themselves and getting ripped off and all this kind of stuff, I just don't support it. Like, let people lose money. It's part of the journey. It's the journey I went on, and so it's an important part of it. Oh, while I'm thinking about this, quick point. The last couple of videos, there's been a person who appears as me. They've got my thumbnail, they've got their name as Contrarian Dude, and they're giving people advice to text this number, send them their Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. That is not me, that is a scam. So make sure you don't fall for that. The way to tell if it's me, because I'm the owner of the channel, I think my name is highlighted, but if you click on the name or hover over the name, it'll tell you how many subscribers they've got. If they haven't got any subscribers, they ain't me, because I got 20,000 subscribers, biatch, yeah. That was a little bit weird, but there you go. So DeFi, we're talking about DeFi still. So that's the fundamentals on DeFi. So now, because all of these things are on chain and it's on a public ledger, you can see how much people are participating in the DeFi world. And you can see that billions of dollars have come in since the crash. So the DeFi had a bubble in price. It crashed. A lot of coins lost significant chunks, 30, 40, 50, 60% of their value. But did it stop people from using DeFi? Were they interacting with the smart contracts? Were they taking out insurance? Were they using the exchanges? Or were they locking up and staking their funds? All of those things continued heading north. It was just a price correction. So the DeFi space is very, very strong. And if DeFi coins have not pumped, just look, let's just do this as a team. Look for DeFi things that have not pumped. I'll throw some money at them right now. Looking for DeFi things that have not pumped in the last week, that'll be good times. Yes, Jeremy's laughing at my 20,000 biatch. Let's see, where we got? Brian says, be careful. Is it Brian? Yes, Brian says, be careful of the weak coins, that some get hacked, and that is true. Nick asked me about Litecoin. I have never been the least bit interested in Litecoin. I'm not even sure if it's on my watch list here. I just don't care about it. It doesn't do anything that Bitcoin doesn't do. So its only place is when Bitcoin screws up and has governance issues. Litecoin for me is just a live test net for Bitcoin. It's the same protocol with a couple of different parameters changed. And if you want to test something risky, go and test it on Litecoin and then we'll copy it over on Bitcoin. So it's not to say you can't make money on Litecoin. Of course you have. I think they just had a halving recently. So people believe it, but it's fundamentals. I just don't get why anyone would use Litecoin. It's not the most interesting coin out there for me. Let's talk about this. Someone's talking about BCH. So Bitcoin Cash, there's an overall principle. So every now and again, coins will fork, meaning there'll be a disagreement, a pretty evenly split disagreement in the community about whether or not they should adopt a protocol or not adopt a protocol. And it will create a fork, and there'll be two coins. And if you had coins in the original chain, you now have coins in both chains. And whether or not one wins or one loses, over time, a year or two later, the market kind of decides there's an independent price for each, and the market decides which one is winning and which one is losing. Just 1 second. I have to sneeze here for a second. It went away? I think it went away. The market will decide which coin is winning and which coin is losing. It's got nothing to do with the fundamentals. Maybe at the beginning it does. But the coin with the highest market cap will always win. So ETH and ETH Classic fork and split. ETH has a market cap up here. ETH Classic has a market cap down here. It survived for a little while, but eventually ETH goes ballistic. ETH Classic shits the bed. Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin, there's like half a dozen of them. They all split. The one with the lower market cap, within a day or two, you can tell. Just go ahead and sell it all. I'm telling you, it is not going to outperform the one with the bigger market cap. Why is it so? You've got hardcore believers over here. You've got hardcore believers over there. And they say, I am going to, when it comes down to here, I'm going to start buying it all. What am I going to do? Yeah, I'm going to start, hang on. When the one with the bigger market cap, when it comes down, I'm going to sell it. Maybe the other way around. When my market cap goes up, I'm going to buy it. It doesn't, I'm getting this back to front perhaps. But they start fighting over price. But the problem is the amount of money you've got to fight with in the lower cap coin is smaller than the amount of money you've got to fight with in the bigger cap coin. This one can buy that whole, can sell that whole marketplace, and it's a much bigger deal than when this one sells its market cap. The one with the bigger market cap always wins. So Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Ethereum Classic, all the forks, the one with the lowest market cap, no matter where you position yourself philosophically, you might agree with one or the other. No, you're going to lose in the one with the lower market cap. It's just going to happen. I'm a 61-year-old woman and I am all in for several years. Way to go, Dana. Crush it. Max, what do you think about Monero? Please ask this question. And what about Exodus Wallet? I've touched on Monero a couple times in this live stream, Robert, so I won't do it again, but feel free to go back and watch the replay when it comes out. Don't care about that. Fiat has a bigger market cap than cryptocurrency, but crypto will defeat fiat. It's a good point, Dan. It's a good point. Hi, Max. Do you think BTC will hit 20K and tank or go over it again? I think it'll probably, pretty soon here, we're going to see a pretty big pullback is my prediction. But let's talk about this, because I have been predicting this for a while. So this is an important one to talk about. In previous years, I would say almost certainly, well, in previous years, there has been, that's not a prediction. In previous years, there has been big pullbacks right about now. When the Bitcoin price extends 65% over the 21-week moving average, and my eyes just fell on this. I wanted to see where we're at. What did this one do? That's only 12. Oh, I'm on the hourly chart. This is only 12% over the 21-week moving average. But this is 5%. What am I missing? I know it's 60%. What am I missing? Oh, because I'm on the hourly. That's the problem. So this isn't the 21-week moving average. It's the 147-hour moving average. That's my problem. Okay. Let me get back to here. Day. There we are. Yeah, there we are. Okay. Oh yeah, overextension. No, what was it? What were we talking about? Oh yeah, I'm predicting the downside. I wanted to talk about some of the fundamentals. Yes, gotcha. Okay, so right now we are 63% above the 21-week moving average. This is pretty crazy, pretty unheard of. It has happened, but it's few and far between, and it's almost always followed by a sharp correction back down to retest the 21-week moving average, which is this yellow line here. I would say that's a lock. It's like almost definitely going to happen, I would say. Except there are some crazy fundamentals going on right now. We've got PayPal, Stripe, and Grayscale Bitcoin Trust all buying, each one of them is buying the entire amount of crypto mined each day, right? So it means one of them can take the mining pool, fine. The other two, they're just going into the market and buying huge chunks off of you and me and anyone else silly enough to sell. So that is the problem. Like right now, the fundamentals are so good for Bitcoin. I really think we just could see a crazy, crazy blow off top next year, because we can get a long way up from here and still just be in the world of fundamentals. So I want you guys to understand that typically we would see a pullback right about here, right? And in support of the case of the pullback, I wanted to mention this earlier. You'll notice these run-ups and then the corrections. The run-up, that was a short one, but this was a big run-up. This was a short one. Right now we're stalling out at 19.3. This is a short one. So we're getting down to the place where it's getting shorter. The run-ups are getting shorter and shorter. To me, it says this explosive market is coming to an end, and it's getting weaker and weaker on each turn. And so at some point, I think we're going to roll over and come back. But the fundamentals are so good, so good. It's absolutely insane with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, PayPal, Stripe, all coming into the market. And just think of what happened to the retail market when the retail came in and all-time highs were hit, right? When we hit all-time highs, and not just the first break, because we'll probably hit it and come down, go up, but when we push through and Bitcoin is just doing its insane run, it's 25,000, it's 30,000, it's 35,000, the marketplace will go absolutely bonkers, and they will just come in hard. So there's a possibility that we don't pull back. I still think it's more likely than not, but there is a possibility that we don't pull back. Just thought you guys should see that side of the equation. That's a good point. Don't let the pullback shake you out. That's a good call, Hank. Yeah, in this market, for the until the end of next year, if you make a mistake and you get in just before a correction, just eat it. Just eat it, wait. The correction will be short-lived. You will be in profit again pretty soon. That would be my advice. Sounds like it's Hank's advice too, and I agree with him. What do we got here? Craig, yep, they're being mined every day. Supply is too small for demand, so it's going to shoot up. It's a different, yeah, both Craig and Hank say it's a different dynamic this cycle. And I can really smell that in the water. It really is a different dynamic this year. And I don't know, can it just go vertical? I mean, without some significant pullback, and it just absolutely leave the 21-week moving average behind in the dust? Can it happen? It's possible. But it does smell different. It really does smell different this time, which makes me at least lean towards that the high next year is going to be like crazy big, crazy big. We will see. We will see. Mexican righteousness, or just righteous, he needs Bitcoin to take a dip to 14K. I hear you, brother. I totally hear you. Carlos, Max, I just got in contact with David, your crypto manager. I don't know, David. What strategy does... No. Okay, so this is a scam, Carlos. This is a scam. Yeah, this is a scam, Carlos. I do not know a David, and I do not have a crypto manager. This is someone who's stolen my thumbnail and stolen my name. If you click on them, you will see that they have 0 subscribers. Oh, I've got 20,000 subscribers. I don't think you're not hearing me, dude. No, I'm being silly. This is serious stuff. You're about to lose your money. Do not give your money to David. I've seen my Bitcoin manager. I don't have a Bitcoin manager. Anyone who tells you there's a good Bitcoin manager, they're lying to you. They're trying to scam you. I do not have a Bitcoin manager. Stock market crash coming soon. Yeah, I would really like to see that. I'm even tempted to put some shorts on the stock market. That would be interesting to see to short the stock market right now, because I went to that earlier. It's right at the top of this megaphone pattern. Megaphone patterns do not end well. So where am I? I got lost. We up? We down? Here we go. Here we have stock market at the top end of this megaphone pattern. So yeah, If it does, if the megaphone pattern holds, we're coming all the way back down to Dow Jones 17,000 or below. But look at it, isn't it true? The bulls climb the stairs, the bear jumps out the window. So true. Climbs the stairs, jump out the window. So this would be an interesting trend line. If you were of that sort, you could put a stop loss up here, short the Dow Jones here. I don't like taking positions where you're fighting the trend line, because you could be right and it stays inside the trend line and you still get stopped out, which would be frustrating. But that could be worth something. Oh, you know what else we can talk about? Thanksgiving Bitcoin pump. Let's investigate this together. So during 2017, we're on the daily. Let's get back to Bitcoin. There's this thing that happened in 2017 where Bitcoin was at, let's go and look what it was. Bitcoin was probably at 10,000, but it was a year earlier, it was less than 1,000. So it had 10x, right? So let's come in here. And come to Thanksgiving. Let's call it November 20th, something like this. Bitcoin was at $8,000. And I mean, it's in this parabolic arc anyway. But the theory was that at Thanksgiving, all these family members coming together, we're in the middle of a hype cycle, Bitcoin's in the news, Bitcoin's going mental, and at millions of tables all over the country, Bitcoin gets introduced to people who have never heard it before. And you're in a sit-down environment, the enthusiastic Bitcoiner can bore the hell out of people and talk about Bitcoin fundamentals for 2 hours. And people are like, oh wow, and people are like, dude, it's gone up like 10x this year, and it's only going higher from here. And the theory was that Thanksgiving caused this last part of the Bitcoin explosion, right? So we are coming up to Thanksgiving. That was the theory that happened in 2017 for this last part of the pump. So let's go back actually and look at Thanksgiving 2017. We're going to see a pump, no doubt. And let's go to the end of November. Here we are, November 27. And don't forget, what year are we in here? We're a year earlier. It's much harder. Every year you go back, it's much harder to get involved in Bitcoin. So it's entirely possible there was a little pump, but it's entirely possible it took 2 weeks to get approved on all the exchanges and be able to buy Bitcoin. And that could happen still today. So interesting thing, Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving pump could be just around the corner for us. The next 2 weeks could be a monster Bitcoin and altcoins and the whole lot. The whole cryptocurrency market could get a Thanksgiving pump, which will be very interesting. January 4th. So this is interesting. That pump peaked January 4th. That pump peaked January 12th. There was another pump here at June 15th, January 5th. Oh, that's June. What's June doing? That's no good. I'm just looking at what December's do. December, this one was January, this one was December 17. But where were we at the beginning of December? Yeah, we're way down here. So this particular year, the actual peak hit in the middle of December. Previous year, December was very, very good to people. But here, this is a loss year, so this has a different kind of dynamic. So what people can do as they come into December is they can sell their Bitcoins, accept the loss, and buy the Bitcoin back if they choose to. See, so a lot of people just, I'll take the losses. That will give me the losses I need to, if they had success in business and they have gains, or they sold a property and they have capital gains, something like that, and you were losing, you bought Bitcoin up here at 20,000, you can sell down here, take the loss, and all of a sudden pay no taxes that year. And so, possibly that's what this has to do with right here. In other years, in pump years, you don't want to sell your Bitcoin in December because the next month or April of next year, you've got to pay your taxes. If you're going to sell Bitcoin, sell in pump years. If you're going to sell Bitcoin, sell in January, so the gain occurs in the following year. Food for thought, team. I might do a video on the Thanksgiving Bitcoin pump next video. I might do that. And by the way, I'm going away for Thanksgiving, guys, so you might not see too many videos from me. Alex is suggesting it's going to be huge. I think he's talking about the Bitcoin pump, but I don't know. What do we got here? There's a lot less FUD now compared to 17, 18, according to Alex. Do you expect XRP to have a big correction? I don't know. I've actually just bet on XRP because it has a habit of 1000x gains every now and again. And so I just put a big bet on XRP. So I hope not. What's the clink? I don't know the answer to that, Josh. I don't know. I've seen people saying it here in the chat, but I don't know. Or is that a person? No. Hi Max, what are your thoughts on using loans credit to buy Bitcoin if it dips significantly? I am not recommending it, but I might do it. No, I wouldn't do it personally. But I mean, there's a famous story about a guy into the beginning of 2017. He had his house completely paid off. He went and got a mortgage on it, $300,000, put it all in Bitcoin, the beginning of 2017. Multi-millionaire today. So it's very, very dangerous. Dude, there's no guarantees. I know I'm guilty of it. I speak as if there's no doubt in the world Bitcoin's going up. And I do believe it. I mean, I've been banking on it for like 3 or 4 years. But I don't know. I don't know about... If I was like poor and I didn't have any money, and I was just looking for a moonshot to get out of jail. Credit card interest rates? No, not with credit card interest rate. 25%? Well, it's 25% per annum. Maybe. I'm not suggesting you do it. I'm definitely not your financial advisor. Bitcoin is risky, yada, yada, yada. But if you're ever going to do it, this would be the year to do it. To take out some personal loan money, to take out some... My very, very first experience was borrowing money on a personal loan over here to use as a deposit to buy real estate over here. So I had a mortgage and I had a personal loan. I had like 120% debt on this property because in Australia, the closing costs are really, really high. 105% is not going to do it. You need a lot, like 120% you need. So and it was an enormous amount of stress for me the next year. The property didn't go up as I had hoped, and it was an enormous amount of stress for me. And I was super stressed, thinking I was going to go bankrupt. And I ended up doing all right with it. I think I made a little bit of money even, but it was a stressful time, and I wouldn't wish that level of stress on anyone. That was like my most stressful time. I probably had worse things happen since, but I was young and green then, and everything was stress. In fact, I had committed a little bit of mortgage fraud. I had no job, I had no income, I had no money, and I went and bought a $400,000 house in Australia. I got a personal loan, faking employment slips. I got a mortgage, faking employment slips, and I went 120% debt on a property. $400,000 of debt to buy a $360,000 property, and it just doesn't go up like I thought it was going to. And I'm working my face off. And in my head, if I fail to make these payments, I don't just go bankrupt. And in Australia, it's all loans are full recourse. So you not just like walk away from the loan; they come after you personally. I thought, I'm going to jail for mortgage fraud for sure. And I was so stressed. I was like 23. I really hope there's a statute of limitations on all this as I confess this crime on YouTube. I was so stressed. I've never done it again. I've never not paid my taxes again. That level of stress was bullshit. I was so scared. I thought I was going to jail when I was like 23. But ended up making a little bit of money with one of the greatest pieces of negotiation I've ever done in my life. I've just finished a course. Actually, this is something. This is the highest ROI. Well, the highest ROI course I've ever bought in my life was by a guy called Roger Dawson, and it's something like The Art of Negotiating, and it's like 8 CDs or something. I had it on cassette tape back then, and he taught me the art of negotiating at age 23. And I've listened to it about 4 or 5 times since, and every person I've ever said listen to it, because every time you buy a house, every time you buy a car, every time you buy anything, you get to negotiate, and you get to practice it all the time, and you get really good at it over time. and you learn. This course was absolutely phenomenal. And there's me, I think with my costs and everything, I was like I don't know, was it something like, just say I bought this house for $360,000 and I'm upside down on it. I'm stressed as hell. I'm thinking I'm going to jail. The market's dipped. It's been on the market for 10 months. I haven't got any offers. And someone comes in with this offer of like 300 or 290. And it's the first offer I've got in 10 months. And I am pulling my hair out. I'm so stressed. And at the same time, I'm listening to these tapes by Roger Dawson. And I just was like, dude, I'll take it and I'll eat the $60,000 loss or whatever the loss was, and I'll just eat it. But man, I really didn't want to eat that loss. And hey, without listening to that tape, I'm sure I would have done that. And I listened to this tape, and it was just a couple of rules. That he's got lots of rules. The longer you spend in a negotiation, the more committed to it you become and the more you want an out. So keep the conversation going without saying no. So and a couple of other things, don't ever be even if they say a number, still don't say a number. Just say you have to do better. A couple of bits and pieces, right? So there's this guy, he's like some international investor or something. He's not even from Australia, wanting to buy. He's dealing with my agent. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm going to accept whatever the hell he says, but I want to try and use these techniques to get the price up. ... I got the price up from 290 all the way up to like 355 or something. And it was my proudest negotiation I've ever done in my life under an enormous amount of stress. Art of the deal, eat your heart out. It was an absolute gem of a result for a 23-year-old. And so the story worked out well. I never found out if I would have gone to jail if I defaulted on those loans that I fraudulently did. And that's the rest is history. So there we go. All right, back to questions. Roger Dawson, Ministry of Truth. Yes, you spelt it correctly. Roger Dawson. Let's see. Kisses. What are the fact checkers? People are celebrating the fact checkers. Who are the fact checkers? I missed the part about the fact checkers. Let's go. Ninja. Yeah, Ninja Loan Survivor. That's me. What's Ninja? Is it no income, no job? Yep, that was me all the way. What do we got? Performing under pressure. Thanks for your answer, Max. You're a legend. Great story. Hope the guy who bought it isn't watching. Yeah, well, he probably wouldn't know the back part, but yeah, he could have got it for less for sure. What do you about an alt having? Oh man, I got no idea what you're talking about. Sorry, Bitcrown. That was either misspellings or too many acronyms for me to read that one. Did you short Bitcoin in the beginning of 2018, or are you planning on doing it in this bull run of 2022? Man, that's a good question. I don't know. Even last week, I dabbled with the idea of being during, because I thought we're going to watch this broadcast until 20,000. And I thought about having shorting right here live while you're all with me and shorting it off the top. I would be, again, I'm going to be doing it with very small amounts because I'm practicing trading. So yeah, I'm open to shorting. I'm open to shorting at the end of next year. That's a possibility. Hank is asking me for my price prediction, sort of end of next year. Yeah, look, I think it is going to be between 100,000 and 500,000. I think 100,000 is an easy mark. I think it'll hit that very easily. I think we're going to see closer to the higher end than the lower, or maybe the middle. But I don't think we can go as low as 100. But man, just so much depends on how much money they print. If they keep printing money and the Dow Jones is at 50,000 and gold's at 10,000 and then they're just printing, Bitcoin could be at 1 million by the end of next year. Like, I think Bitcoin is going to outperform everything by orders of magnitude next year. And if they're pumping everything else up and they're all in profit next year, it could be ridiculous. And it's disgusting and offensive that you would have to pay capital gains tax when you sell, because you didn't actually make a gain. You preserved your wealth when they destroyed the currency. And it's criminal that that is the case, that you have to pay capital gains tax on that base. That is so disgusting and so criminal. Hence, I've devised a strategy to not pay taxes on my gains from crypto. I'll be releasing that to the Success Council members probably Q1 next year. Cool. It's really early here in Australia. It sure is, John. Yeah, my family's there, and I think they'll all be still asleep. Yep. Click the thumbs up. Are we going to have a dip soon? Will the BTC retracement affect the altcoins in the same way? No, if it's a big retracement, it will affect. It will affect. If Bitcoin comes down to 15,000, oh yeah, the altcoins will come down for sure. Max, do you expect we'll soon go through similar trends to the Jan 2018 altcoin explosion? So I think we're just going to have a lot of yinning and yanging. And that's why I really look at the Bitcoin dominance chart and the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, just looking for that yin and yang. And look, the trend is clear. Alts are outperforming Bitcoin. There's a clear downtrend. Ethereum, Bitcoin, that is a clear long-term uptrend. Alts, I think, are going to outperform Bitcoin. And right now, we've got Ethereum on the lower end of its trend channel that it's tracking in. You've got Bitcoin, well, now it's back in the middle, but as a couple of days ago, it's at the top end of the channel it's tracking in. So look, I think this is going to continue to zigzag, but yeah, I think you definitely want, if I launch the crypto fund, I'm going to be 50-50 Ethereum and Bitcoin. If that ends up happening, that's what I'm going to do. So let's see. 12K all the way. Jason wants a 12K Bitcoin price. I agree. If you get 12K Bitcoin price, in answer to that question earlier, no, I can't actually say this, but tongue in cheek, yeah, go and take a personal loan and buy Bitcoin, like mortgage the house, go buy Bitcoin. 12,000 would be ridiculous if it went to 12K, and it's a possibility. It's a possibility. Where was that question? Is Success Council still available with the crypto course? Yes. Yes. You know, I'll drop a link here. No. Oh, we know. Here's do this. The first link in the description of this video is a link to go and sign up to a webinar. I don't like anybody joining Success Council unless they watch that webinar. It's a recording of one I did a few months ago. But I want people to understand the big plan. I want people to understand, what I'm doing. If you click on that thing and sign up for the webinar, either just watch the webinar and the links will pop up, or I think if you don't watch it, 2 days later you'll get an email saying, "Hey, come and watch the replay." And on the replay, there are the links to buy, so you won't have to sit through it. If you've already watched it, you can do that. So that's the deal. All right. Summit, I get the question. You're ruining the feed. Slow down. I'll answer it in a minute, but I'm going to punish you for spamming it, so I'm not going to answer it until later. Ask once later. I'm trying my best, but there's a lot of people here. How do you pull up the TradingView Bitcoin dominance chart? It says right here. It's BTCD. So you just click in here, and you type in BTC.D. No, you don't type in BTC.D. You type in btc.dom. Well, how do I get it here if you didn't do it this way? btc.d. What does that give me? Oh, there you go. I was clicked on cryptocurrency, and it was for some reason not coming up in cryptocurrency. So you got to be clicked on all, and it's just btc.d. Yeah. And actually, that might have been the problem why I wasn't finding the other one I was looking for. I was looking for one just yesterday, and I couldn't find it. I wanted crypto, excluding total crypto, excluding BTC. Yes, that's what I want. Total 2. Crypto total market cap. Yeah, I wanted to add those two into my watch list, and I couldn't find it, and it's because I was clicked on cryptocurrency. So thank you for asking that question. You helped me find it. This is another good one. Let's take it right here. Why not take a look at it? So this is this, well, I forgot now. I forgot which one I clicked on. I think this is the total crypto market, less excluding Bitcoin. So right now we're in the, look at this. I mean, I see these 3/4 of a cup, and I'm just like, boom, boom, that's where my mind goes. I just see the other side of the cup. And if the crypto market, excluding Bitcoin, does this, holy moly, this is just going to go burka. Let's see what this actually is. Let's go from here to here, and we're talking 134%. Good times. Good times. Okay, back. All right, I'm going to go back and answer this question from Summit. But dude, no more spamming, guys. We don't want to do that. What is the target for F this cycle? What's the target for F? Okay, let's go have a look at F. Oh, the whole 2021 cycle? I haven't actually investigated that. I don't know. So what was this at? 1400? I think we got to get to 14,000. I think we got to get to 14,000 for Ethereum. Just again, I mentioned it earlier in the feed. Ethereum is a little more risky because it's a little more risky, but I expect higher gains. I think it's going to turn out fine for Ethereum, but Ethereum has competition. Bitcoin doesn't really. So Ethereum has some competition. There's Cardano, there's EOS, there's other chains. And then there's the concept of interoperability. If we get interoperability between the chains, I think it's going to be so much easier to build on Cardano and build on EOS than it is to build on Ethereum. So time will tell. If we get interoperability and people can switch their code back and forth really fast, it could be that Ethereum gets left behind a little bit. That's its biggest risk, I think. But overall, I think Ethereum is going to do very, very well next year. And I would expect it to do at least a 10x from here, and probably a 10x from the all-time high. And so I think it's entirely possible to hit over $10,000 for Ethereum. What do we got here? Hi, Max. I love your upfrontness, stories, and kindness answering questions and acceptance that we are all in a different place and learning. So grateful to you, really. Thank you, Lisa. That is very, very sweet. Someone call a billionaire friend now. Let me see. Do you think Link is currently forming the backside of a cup and handle formation of its previous all-time high? And the answer is, actually, no, did I say? I didn't check that on Link. I think I've got Link in here. Link, no, I've only got, oh, there it is. Link US dollar. Oh, you think this is a cup just here from its $20? It's a cup, a little bit cupish. The cup is usually defined as this part would start steeper and then smooth. This just to me looks like kind of two channels. There was this channel and now there's this channel. But yeah, you see this come up here and wouldn't be surprised if it interacts with this all-time high in a similar way. Come down a little bit and off. That could totally happen. That could totally happen. But we're at almost 16. Oh, nice. I bought a lot of Link. I think down here yesterday. It was in the 14s for sure. So yeah, there's that. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. Get your money in and keep it in for the long term. Yeah, Craig, I agree. That's, again, guys, the vast majority of money I made is on doing exactly that. I made all the mistakes. Well, that's not true. I mean, I got in at the beginning of 2013, so that's a pretty good get it right. 2013 was the first, it wasn't the first Bitcoin bull run, but it was the first of the 4-year cycle pumps. So yeah, I did that right. It was just after the halving that I got in. The halving was December 2012. I got in there or the following month. And so yeah, I did a lot. I did some things right, but did I know I was doing it right? I mean, I thought I did. I knew about the halving. I thought it was going to be a big thing, and it turned out to be true. But the main thing is just get in and stay in. The Clink gives me a congrats on 20K subs. Thank you so much. Guys, 430 people still on this live cast. You guys are into this way more than I thought you would be. I've been going for, I have not. Have I been going for 2.5 hours? That can't be true. That's ridiculous. 2.5 hours. You guys love me. I love you back. This is like romantic. I can't believe there's still 500 people here. Oh, I think 10 people just dropped off. I shouldn't remind you. There's a reason casinos don't have a clock in the gaming halls. You don't tell people how long they've been at the tables. I love it. Good stuff. All right, let's see who else we got here. All right, I'm being asked for an entry point on Ethereum, and the answer, when it's going parabolic, it's just, how do you find an entry point? There's no entry points here. There's no entry points here. It's just too hard. When it's going up like this, it's just so hard to get in, unless you get a sideways pattern. So just like Bitcoin does, well, you do it here. Like I'll show it here on this one. Like this, we got a fall and a sideways pattern. So here was a good entry point for Ethereum, because you had this resistance, resistance, resistance. All right, it broke through there, and that's a good entry point. But it's really easy to see on the when after the fact, right? It's always harder to see when it's coming up. This was also an entry point. We've got this long-term. This is a long-term trend line. It goes back a long time. Long-term trend line right there, right? We've got crash through. We got resistance, 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 support, resistance, 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 resistance. And when it crashes through here, this is a great place to pick up Ethereum, right? It crashed through, you're in an upward trend, you crash through an upward trend line, and this is looking sexy, and that would have been a good trend line. Up here, you need a pullback to find another good entry point. Without a pullback, there is no good entry points. And Bitcoin, like a knife in my heart, 19,100. Well, guys, I don't think we are going to get an all-time high celebration on this candle. So let me know, should we do this again? Should we do this again? Should we have another attempt? How about at 19,600, 700? Should we have another shot? Yes, it can. Yes, we do. So let's see what we've got. A couple people congratulating me on 20,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate it. I got a whole bunch of yeses coming in here. We got a yes, we got a yes, we got an again. I've only got 2 yeses. I got like 20. I love Jeff Berwick's. Here comes some more. God, I'm shameless, aren't I? Such a fragile ego. There was just a delay. Here they go. They're coming in thick and strong. All right, so what we'll do, guys, I actually have to go and teach at my kid's kindergarten that I built for him. So I have to run. This has been an absolute pleasure. Bitcoin stabbed me in the heart. It's all right. I forgive you. You've been kind to me in the past. Lots and lots of yeses, lots and lots of agains. I will do another one, so keep an eye out. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you click subscribe, because you get the notification right in your phone. Subscribe and sign into your YouTube account on your phone. Critically important. If you do those 2 things, as soon as I go live, you get and hit the bell and all. As soon as I go live, you get a notification on your phone that Max is fine, and we get to come and watch the world's leading indicator, red squiggle. Max's red squiggle. So actually, I should have known. Actually, I'm going to delete this. We learnt our lesson from this. We don't need that. We all learnt from it and crushed from it. I should have known. 26th of November, 2 days. The red squiggle says we don't get an all-time high until 2 days. So it might be then, which is Thanksgiving. Well, that's a bit rude. I'm going to be in the air tomorrow, flying to Sophia's parents' house, actually, for Thanksgiving. And so hopefully we don't get an all-time high tomorrow, because I won't be able to do this. But if we do it the following day, I'll be there. Let's see. And you guys are still here. Wonderful, wonderful people. All right, guys. Love you a long time, and I will see you in the next one. Next time I think Bitcoin's got a chance at shooting for the all-time high, we will go for it. Okay, guys, take care. I'll see you soon.